Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong bong. I can't hear you. Your mic is muted.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, dope. Dope. I told them in about 5 minutes at 9:06 because I'm gonna go grab a drink. So in about 1-ish minutes, 2 minutes, we'll get started. Okay. I can. Let's see. Hello, everyone. I'm gonna go grab a drink and I'll be right back. So about 1 minute. Did you see them say that you're probably out yelling at your phone?
Oh no, where are the comment things?
Bobby must be outside yelling at his phone in his weighted vest.
Hell yeah, you know I do
This is the
that.
usual time.
Wait, are we in the live or are they? Where are they?
We're live. We're live, Bing Bong.
With like on video we are?
We're on live. Yeah.
Oh, sniz. Oh, so I'm just talking to myself on here. We're on the tape.
Yeah.
That's. Oh, all right. I didn't know that. Oh wait. Oh, so you guys can see me. Oh, all right. Fudge brownie. Oh well, tickle me Elmo. Nobody told me we were live on the stream here. Oh, geez, we really are. All right, cool. Hey everyone, the world is stupid. Everything's trash. We're run by a bunch of P3DO demons, and they're serpents. And if another fucking person tells me that I need to rally together for the midterms, I'm gonna blow a fat fart right in their mouth. Oh, why don't you care about the midterms? I don't know. Maybe because they just got away with the most diabolical, disgusting things I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm supposed to rally together for the midterms. You expect me to care about some economic policy when they're just actually plunging a hot MAGA torpedo in our brown eye? Fudge your brownie.
It's like even if people do rally for the midterms, what are you trying to accomplish exactly? Like every single thing basically that was promised was not actually like taken care of, and on top of that, now they've like walked all these things back too, right? I just saw they walked the stuff back about the dyes in the food. I saw that, we saw that they walked everything back as far as actually deporting all the immigrants. Like it's like every time I turn around, they're walking something else back. It's like what exactly do you hope to get from the midterms, guys?
Yes. What do you expect to get?
Do you want?
Well, yeah. Well, they're telling us to grab our cankles and get a hot MAGA torpedo in our Dirt Star as it relates to the deportations. The deportations are lower than they were under Obama or anybody else. They went to Minneapolis and they basically got ran out of town by a bunch of psycho leftoids with septum piercings that screamed at them and took videos for what, Snapchat or something. So, and that runs them out of town. They stopped the deportations there. Trump basically dogs on his own guy. He's like, oh, he's a crazy guy. Takes him off the case. So the deportations end there. They ran him out of town there. We got the biggest thing that I think matters overall, which is the Epstein case. They're blatantly like meat slapping us across the face with that, and then they make some like light piano music thank you video to President Trump like he's dead today, and put Pam Bondi telling some stupid ass story about why President Trump is so awesome. It's like you guys are gonna get absolutely smoked in the midterms, and they're gonna blame fucking Thomas Massie instead of having any self-awareness. We live in hell. These people suck, and I'm not a Republican. Eat my balls. Thank you. Like, what the fuck? Like, ingest my literal balls.
I'm not a Republican. Wow. Eat my balls. Can we make a t-shirt?
Yeah. Oh, why don't you rally together for the midterms? Hey, fuck you, bud. Oh, they're like, Thomas Massie is accountable for the guy going to Mar-a-Lago. Fudge your brownie, dude. I hate everyone. Almost everyone.
It's just I just have to laugh. Like you saw me saying some things when we were in when you were doing your live stream of the freaking State of the Union or whatever, and it's like, dude, that whole thing, the entirety of that whole thing was just political theater and nothing more. There was zero actual like problems addressed, no solutions given. All they did was parade veterans and people that they knew was like the lowest hanging fruit, goy slop, emotional triggering bullcrap, And then on top of that, they just bagged on the left the entire time. It was like it was the biggest joke I've ever heard of. The entire time, I'm not going to lie, the whole time I watched that thing, I just kept thinking to myself, are we bombing Iran right now? Because that's the only thing that would make sense with how much of just an absolute worthless, like pointless distraction this is. The whole time I was like, there's got to be something going on. And they just have people like entranced in this goy slop while we're over there, like freaking sending bombs over to Iran.
Yeah, I was just watching. I pay a lot of attention to economics. I love the economy. I love the stock market. I love paying attention to finances because I believe that finance is the key, to personal freedom. Aside from all the political stuff, but like, if they're gonna let these demons get away with all this stuff, the way to ensure your freedom obviously is to be healthy, but it's to be financially independent. And in order to be financially independent, you need to understand money, you need to understand the economy. Anyways, I was listening to Peter Schiff, and he has a great economic podcast. He's an Austrian economist, absolutely fire knowledge on a lot of stuff. And he was breaking down all the different lies that Trump told during the State of the Union. And he was like, Trump basically said that it was the biggest tax cut in history. It wasn't that. The economy is the greatest it's ever been. It wasn't that. The inflation was the worst ever. And now it's so good. And it's like, he was literally going through one by one about how these were economic untruths and how like even things like the tax on tips and all this other stuff is not beneficial to the actual economy and will be counterintuitive. And it absolutely wrenches my balls, which he actually mentioned in the podcast, about how everybody is so on board with the Trump accounts and how these Trump accounts are good. And it's like, okay, so every American citizen needs to go further into debt to pay a small amount of money that has to be kept in a custodial account that gets paid fees to all these Wall Street fat cat pigs for the next 20 years. So we have to borrow money to give some people money. If Joe Biden did this, they would be screaming to the high heavens. But because Trump did it, they're just like, oh, thanks, Daddy. Like, let me open up my balloon knot for you. Like, that's what it is. It's like they have, and I've been saying this over and over again lately.
It just keeps getting worse.
They have no principles. These people have no principles.
No.
It's like if you would get mad at Biden for doing it and you don't get mad at Trump for doing it, I don't trust anything that you say. You have no principles. You're a slop snorter, and shut up, because I'm going to follow a principle, and that's how I'm going to be. So you guys want to go eat slop, then eat it.
The perfect example of that, the absolute perfect example of that is, and I talk about this all the time because it's like I don't see any other. I mean, just think about the Ukraine situation. Just think about how many times old Prezi sweatsuits showed up to the White House, and the utter outrage that we heard from the right wing, from the MAGA influencers, from the Con Inc. like influencers, and the memes and just everything, right? Dude, when you actually go back and look at how many times he came to the White House, how many times he actually visited, it was 5 times in the entire administration, right? Bibi Netanyahu has already come 7 times.
Yeah.
And not a peep, not a meme, not a peep, nothing. Just absolute silence. While this guy is freaking full motorcade, shut down the highway when he shows up at Congress and gets a 4-minute standing ovation, bipartisan standing ovation. I don't even think I've ever seen Trump get a 4-minute standing ovation, right?
Right. And
yet, total silence. The hypocrisy is insane to me. It really is. I will say this, though. I do think people are starting to wake up. I think that because I've seen some influencers that are typically very, very like careful to not toe the party line or whatever. And I've seen them start to kind of speak out about this because it's like, okay, something's going on, right? Mm-hmm. Like, obviously I can't just sit here and not say anything. But then of course you have the MAGA shills that are, they will never say anything because they're either employed or compromised or both. And it is what it is. It's more propaganda. It's more state-run propaganda. And now I saw the Hannity video you made. Oh my gosh. Could it be any more blatant? First of all, who the hell wants to hang out with Sean Hannity?
Zero
other
people.
Than every boomer goyim on the planet.
Yeah.
And
it's Goy Vision.
Sean Goyim Hannity.
Goy out with Sean.
And bro, it's so blatantly obvious that what's really happening is they put freaking Dan Goyim Bongino out there, Dan Goyingino. They put him his show out there, right? Thinking, oh, this is how we're going to win them back. We got to get him in the podcast sector. He's clearly getting absolutely raked right now. If you go look at his comments, the only positive comments in there are a bunch of freaking Israeli bots or Zionist shills. The majority of people are like, we hate you. We literally hate you, and you ruined everything, and your entire reputation is shit for the rest of your life, by the way.
Yeah.
And so it's obvious that didn't work. And now they're like, what do we do? Oh, okay. Let's throw Sean Hannity into the freaking ring. Let's give Sean Hannity a podcast because they do understand that the podcast sphere is where they actually are able to. It's where the influence is right now. Like no question about it.
As
right?
it should be.
Yeah, for sure. But oh my gosh, dude, I could not.
Well, the thing about Bongino is it's like okay. Bongino is, as far as I know, Bongino was an investor in Rumble, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. So he's an investor in Rumble.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. Last time I checked, there's no law against changing numbers on your own website. I don't know if such a law exists. So if you are an investor in Rumble and you want to get other people to post on Rumble and you want to encourage other people to post videos on Rumble, to go live on Rumble, and you want to say that Rumble is so great, chances are you would want people to think that the biggest podcaster ever or whatever is crushing on Rumble. So not only could they potentially be inflating the numbers that he actually has or inflating the comments that he actually has or monitoring them or whatever else, they could also be inflating the actual views themselves or the live viewers. Or on top of all that, the way that Rumble can boost a site or boost a video is by giving it front page top billing for a period of time. And they do that to certain shows. They do that for Timcast. They've done that for my friend Luke at We Are Change. So I wouldn't be surprised if they give him top billing, push his thing to the front. I wouldn't be surprised if they boost the numbers. And if you look at his podcast numbers, as far as the stats are concerned on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, he's like sliding way, way down the charts on all of those places. So
yeah. Well,
I don't know.
I mean, dude, it's not a secret that you can buy views and buy like status as a podcast. I mean, you can literally buy your way to the top 10 podcasts in the world or whatever of any category that you pick.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people do that. But the thing about Bongino is it's so blatantly obvious. Like, I don't know if they're just retarded or if they just really don't care, because every single episode he's done since he started to do his podcast again, every single one of them is just attacking any and all opposition to the party lines. That's it. All they're doing is attacking everybody that says anything contrary to the MAGA coalition. It's all they're doing. Yeah. And even to the point now where they seem to be covering for pedophiles, covering for ritualistic, cannibalistic, elite pedophiles that are eating children.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Where we are.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a contract in an FBI slush fund to be a propagandist, an FBI agent that is cosplaying as a podcaster. It would be remiss to history to pretend that that's not happening. Yes,
because otherwise, why would you? Because he's clearly destroying not only his legacy, but like any base that he has completely destroyed. And it's like, this is what I said when everybody was getting really loud about Israel. You had like Talmud Tatum and all these guys that were just posting about Israel every single day, right? And you would go in the comments and it was like 98% negative, and tons of people that are like, unfollow. The only reason you would continue to double down and triple down and quadruple down on something like that is if you had a better incentive than losing all the followers that you've built for the last 10 years.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
Like, there's no other explanation, in my opinion.
Yes, that's right. And the other thing is like, you think about how long Bongino actually was at the FBI. As far as I understand, he was there from, I believe it was March of 2025 to January 1st. So you're talking like 10 months.
Less than a year.
Dude, if I moved my apartment to an apartment across town for 11 months, I wouldn't have the closet finished by then. and you're going to attack the deep state of the most powerful organization that's entrenched for freaking decades. You're going to do that in 10 months. And it's like, okay, what can we deduce here? The plan all along was to bring you into the fray. Basically, what's the correct word? Get you to take a vow of secrecy for life by making you aware of specific top secret confidential documents that, if you were to reveal the truth of what you saw, would be punishable by, I assume, death, treason, a pact for life. So if you were to bring me in for the FBI for 10 months, you could swear me to secrecy for the remainder of my time on Earth. And then if I could pay you on the way out, I could sweeten the pot and say, now you're going to go back to your thing. You're going to be a propagandist for the state. And if you don't do that, we already got you on all the cases that matter. And you get to call yourself a patriot for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And we'll call you a patriot for the rest of your life.
Not only that, I think people forget that, and I don't remember exactly when it was. You might have to look it up. But like a couple months into him being in the FBI, he tried to leave. He tried to get out. He literally, there was all kinds of stuff that started going around about how he wanted to resign.
Yeah,
it was like
I remember that.
Remember that? It was like 1 or 2 months into it.
So I don't know how true it was,
but even so, let's play advocate right now, devil's advocate, and let's say that it was true, and let's say he was trying to get out, and it's like, I wonder why. Maybe it's because he saw something and he was like, oh, that's what's going on here. Okay, well, I'm gonna get out before I'm too far down in this thing, and they can actually like have some leverage over me, right? And then someone said, no, you're not, because the next appearance that he had was what interview was that? It wasn't 60 Minutes. He did some like interview, and he looked like he saw a ghost, and he didn't say very many words. If you remember that, he just
that was the one we did. That was the one he did with Cash.
Yeah, dude. And he was like, he looked like he literally saw a ghost, and it's
the only thing I'll say about that is that I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt on the ignorance portion of it. It's like, you were in the Secret Service, you were in the police, you traveled around the world with Obama, you saw what was to be seen. You know things that you can't reveal even then. And it's like, if we know that Obama's shipping in planes of hot dogs, and getting throat by some snowhead in a limousine in the 90s or whatever, which seemed highly probable to me, then he knew that there was a lot of darkness in there, is my point.
But I would be willing to bet that he didn't know the details. I will say that. I don't think he knew the details, because here's the thing. If you actually knew all of these things, and you knew it for a fact, you knew, like, you were 100% certain of it, why would you put yourself in a position where you were going to be the one that was going to have to go? Why would you go into the FBI? I don't see any. I don't know why you would want to get more deeper into that. If you knew the truth, you would instead stay out in the private sector and do everything you could to expose it. In my opinion, I mean, that's me. I definitely wouldn't throw my hat in the ring. Like, what? Forget it.
I mean, at the end of the day, why does anybody do anything? Money and power. So,
and fame. We always miss that one.
Yeah, but
fame.
It's the same thing. Fame and power are interchangeable. So yes, fame. But like, he was already famous, relatively speaking. So it would be like legacy, called a hero, historically relevant. I don't know, but it's like, if there was enough money in it, or if there was enough power in it, I don't know. I'm pretty sure if you're a former FBI director or whatever, probably pretty good legally for the remainder of your time on Earth, I would assume. I mean,
I'm pretty sure if you're a politician in general, you're pretty good legally for the rest of the remainder on Earth. Let's just be honest.
Right. So
how many of these people are actually held accountable for anything they do?
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if, when Trump is walking out the door on his last day in office, he blanket pardons himself, every person he's ever met in his life, every member of the cabinet, till the end of eternity. Yeah, and he set the precedent for it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Trump gives himself a lifetime. I don't know. We live in fucking hell, dude.
Yeah, I know, you're not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong. That's exactly what would happen. And here's, it's all of them though. It's all of them. Like,
for sure.
So let's talk about this now. Let's talk about. It's been revealed, supposedly, that this coordinated smear campaign wasn't actually a coordinated smear campaign. Regardless, let's just talk about this for a minute, okay? Because even if it wasn't a coordinated smear campaign, even if it wasn't, which, by the way, it's not like those don't exist, though.
If what wasn't?
You know that thing that I sent you that said, like, here's all the talking points of how you're going to attack Candace. It needs to be done tonight. Blah 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 blah. Supposedly, it's been revealed now that was fake. Here's the thing, though.
Maybe
I want everyone to understand this, okay? Even if that one was fake, they do those for real all the time. How do I know that? Because I've been a part of an agency that did that. They literally make these campaigns, and then you pick and choose them as an influencer, and you're paid by views or clicks or signups or petitions. Like every single one of the campaigns have a thing, right? And in order of an importance, that's how they pay you. Okay, so it's not like something like that wouldn't exist. And so all these people that are out there saying, "Oh, these people are crazy to even think that would be a possibility." It's like these same demons that are saying that literally run these campaigns like every day. If you follow Tatum, for example, anytime you see him post a black screen on his story with a little link, that's a campaign. And every time you click that link, he's making like 60 cents a click. Okay, just to throw that out there. How do I know? Because I've been there. I literally know how it works. The only difference is I pick and choose my like campaigns, and I did ones that I actually believed in, and it was like, okay, here's a campaign that raises awareness about the VA and the corruption in the VA. Yeah, I would do that anyway. So why not take that campaign and get paid for making content? For sure, right? That's fine. It's when you're just doing all of it just to make money, and you don't care what you're actually saying, what you're talking about, or what you're posting about. And that's what these people are doing. So going back to that, the head of the like, smear campaign, whatever, fake, real, whatever, the Graham Allen, the one that you decided to go after, which was freaking funny, by the way.
Everything I do is funny.
Bro, people forget who Graham Allen is. Graham Allen is the Dear America guy.
He's also a Fed. Literally.
That's what I'm getting.
It's like you're a literal Fed. I don't know.
So prior to all of this, Graham Allen was the dude, the freaking douche canoe in his car that had the mohawk and the colorful glasses, and he would go, "Dear America," right? And then I think it was maybe a year or 2 years after he like blew up, that he literally became a Fed. Like he went to work for the State Department. How long did he work for him? I don't even know.
He worked for I don't know. I mean, he's had a big account since before I started, which was 5 years ago. His account was big then. But he worked at the DOD under Trump starting in 2025. I think he was there for a year.
Well, no, but he was there before that too, though.
I don't even know. I don't even really know much about that guy. I've just heard nothing but bad things.
Yeah. Anyway, so then if you go back and you actually trace it, like you can tell the minute that he just basically became nothing but a propaganda arm for the administration, you can tell because all of his posts are the same thing. It's either outrage porn or it's like just the thing, the talk. It's the cat turd talking point. Like there's no substance. There's no care. He doesn't care about his followers. He doesn't care about his community. All he's doing is sharing propaganda and pushing the narratives for the party. Well, one thing else that he does is like all these other freaking demons, they act like they're Christians. They act like they're these righteous, like, dude, it drives me insane because I know for a fact that guy and a lot of these other guys, they are not the righteous little Christian saints that they pretend they are. Every single time I see these people say something like, we have to trust Jesus or freaking have faith or don't attack women of God. Like, bro, every time I want to like punch I want to shatter my phone because these people are so fake. They're so fake.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they are very fake. It's funny. I don't even follow Graham Allen, but after I made that video, I saw him on X.
It just always comes in my algorithm now.
Yeah, so after I made the video, I had responded to one of his other comments, so now it's serving me his stuff on X, and it was like during the State of the Union, he was like, President Trump just called out something epic, and I'm like, dude, this style of slop it can't stand the test of time, bro. Like you can't tell me that the Benny Johnson, Graham Allen, David Harris Jr. slop regurgitation, like let's all deep throat MAGA slop, like let me bend over and like put a hot load of MAGA on my back. Like this can't work. Yet these people are making millions of dollars right now, but it's just like, at what cost? It's like if you ever see me start doing stuff like that, you better block me, unfollow me, and never talk to me again because I'm absolutely cooked, dude.
We've talked about this so many times because you and I and like maybe a few other creators are the only ones that have stayed consistent to the message since day one. Like, and
Anomaly does a great job at that too. Like he's been consistent. Like there's so few people that have.
You could not pay me enough money to sell my soul like these people. But here's the thing. Yeah. You're saying it's not going to stand the test of time. The thing is, it doesn't have to. And they understand that because I've said this many, many, many times. These people are just politicians in training. All they want is access. All they're trying to do is get into freaking Congress, guys. They're politicians. That's why we hate politicians, because this is where their souls are. They don't have souls. All they want is more money, more power, more fame, more control. And that's why we hate these people. And these influencers, these MAGA influencers and media heads, they're no different. That's all you're watching. So for them, their content doesn't need to stand the test of time. They'll rake in the millions while they're making all this freaking slop and this propaganda. And then they'll get their position in the freaking White House or the administration or Congress or whatever. And the cycle continues, right?
Yes.
That's who these people are.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I had a very, very huge revelation very early on when I made my content. I'll just tell a brief little short story here. And I was making content and I didn't know the first thing about growing a social media. I was like, what is this? Could this be a job? I don't know. And I was making videos and I started getting monetized on Facebook. And I made like $20 on a video, $30 on a video. And I was like, this is sick if I do these videos. Then I made a video about something that I wanted to make a video about and it didn't make the money. And I'm like, well, if I make a video about these things that I know will make money, then I'll be able to make all this money. So I started making videos about the things that would make money. And after a while, I started being very sad with the content because when I made the thing that I didn't want to make because I thought it would make money and then it didn't make money, I had this existential kind of like moment where I was like, why am I doing this? What is the real purpose? I have to establish what my North Star is for the purpose of this adventure. And I have to declare that and I have to stick to it and never turn from it ever. Because if I do that, it will work. And every great thing that's ever happened in history has been based on that. And I was like, my North Star is I want to be purposeful. I want it to be something that is of value, great value, and could live on beyond even me, where it's like, look, this guy at least did this. And that was a decision that I made. And these people clearly did not make that same decision. And they've built the audience, and then they're willing to just completely just slap the audience in the face to enrich themselves. They don't have a North Star. They lost their North Star. And that's what I mean by I won't stand the test of time. I mean that maybe the slop will work, maybe the money will work, but them as a human person, which ultimately is what you have to sleep with on your deathbed, that is gone. And for me, I'm like, that is something that I will not do.
Yeah. I mean, I very well said, dude. And again, I still remember that conversation we had, like maybe it was a couple of months back, and we were talking about this, and it was like what are we doing? Like, what's that North Star, right? And I'm very much aligned with what you're talking about. Like at the end of the day, dude, I really do want to be a positive influence for people. I want to be somebody who, when they meet me, it's like first of all, I feel like I already know you, and then I am that person, right? Yeah. That's my biggest goal when I meet people in person is like, I'm that same person and you know who I am. But then on top of that, like, yeah, man, the best way I can put it is this. I don't give a rat's ass what people think about me right now. I don't care. I don't care if you disagree with me. I don't care if you like the way that I do things. I don't care. I'm not here to please people in this moment. And that is the reason why I cannot be bought. And that's the reason why it's easy for me to not like toe the party lines or only talk about the low-hanging fruit and not like challenge things, right? And not be, everything I am. Because what I actually care about is what people think and say about me 10 years from now, right? Mm. That's what I care about. I care about legacy. I don't care about, the temporary fame right now, right? I love it. I love it when people meet me in person and like, that's a really cool thing that, you know, you can be like spotted in the wild or whatever. But these influencers that just like thrive off of every time they go out, they're spotted, you know, 3-4 times, and it's just constant praise because they're saying everything these people need to hear right now, even though it's not actually helping anything and it's just making it worse. That's not me, dog. Like I can't do that. I'm not here to please people. I'm here to educate, and I'm here to challenge, and I'm here to tell you the truth, even when it hurts and even when it's really uncomfortable, because that's the truth that actually matters.
Yeah.
Right. And
you gotta be Keanu Reeves, dude.
Yeah, dude. And I will say this, though. I will say that I think, especially over the last, like, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, I will say there's been a shift. And I've definitely felt like everything that I did for 5 years of like, you know, sticking to my message, not going far right, not doing this or that or whatever, and just like staying my course, staying my lane, even though I lost a lot of followers and even though I didn't have a ton of growth like all these other people that just slapped it all up, I do feel like that has started to come back around. I think you probably feel the same way. Like, you've been growing quite a bit. I think all of us who have done that, because people are coming back and they're saying, oh, you know, this guy's been saying this for 5 years. And now,
correct.
Wait a second. You mean to tell me Trump is in the Epstein files? You mean to tell me that he's potentially covering for all these people? You mean to tell me that all the conspiracies these crazy guys have been talking about are actually real? Yes, they are. Welcome to reality. Welcome back. Right?
Yeah, because if you don't compromise your soul, then you know that the content will stand on its own outside of you. And like, there's been a lot of times where I've been like, man, this is so frustrating. I'm doing the same thing I always did, and it's stalemated. And if I just took the cheap way out and started slopping it up, I could make more money. I could get more opportunities. I could get the invite to Mar-a-Lago. If I didn't call out my thing, maybe I could get a spot on Gutfeld. Maybe I could go to Mar-a-Lago and be invited to this thing. But in order to do that, I have to not say the thing that I need to say, that I wanted to say. That's why we even did it in the first place.
That's right.
So it's like, and you can see, and this is the thing that I understood about it, is like, the real heads know. The true heads get it. And I would rather have 1,000 people that get it than 100,000 people that are just there for slop, that wouldn't care one way or the other. And I think that 1,000 people is far more valuable in the long run, because again, it meets the requirements of the North Star. And as long as you have that, then there's never any question.
100%, dude. And I love what you said too. Like, you know, I think there's actually probably some people in this chat that have been following both of us since the beginning, because you and I were actually like you were one of the first people, if not maybe the first people, that, as far as like influencers on the internet, that I like connected with in 2020. It was like you, Tommy, who else? Oh my gosh, what's her freaking name? CJ. Like, it was like that little group, right?
Yep.
And it's true, man. Like, it's like, why did we even start doing this in the first place? The very first video that I made that went viral was about Pizzagate. It was literally about Pizzagate. Yeah. And it blew people's minds, right? And I lost friends, and I lost family, and I lost jobs, and like all kinds of stuff, because I was telling everybody, hey, the world's run by a bunch of satanic pedophiles that are potentially even eating kids. And they were like, you're insane. You're absolutely insane, right? But now I literally have friends that have like hit me up in the last 2 months and been like, dude, this is crazy. Like, I thought you were batshit crazy. And I'm like, yeah, you know, and of course I'm not the type of person that holds a grudge. So I'm like, whatever, like, I forgive you. I don't care. It's, you know, but like, at the end of the day, yeah, it's real. Right. And it's like, that's why we started doing this in the first place. And I can't go back on that, you know? And it's like, I also don't think people understand that, though, Bobby. I don't think people understand how easy it really would be for someone like us to just, if we really wanted to just like sell our soul, flip the script tomorrow, and start just throwing out the freaking right-wing MAGA goy slop, how easy it would be to do that, and how fast the invitations would come. I would be at Mar-a-Lago in a month.
100.
No joke. It would be like that, dude.
People with less views than us, people with less views than us, and less motion than us already have that.
100%.
Yes. No, that is absolutely the case. And I will say also, based on back to what you were just saying a second ago, isn't there just nothing sweeter than that nectar when somebody comes to you 3 years later and says, dude, in 2020, I really thought you were a real piece of shit and I hated you and I unfollowed you. And we were like, there was this one kid that I'll never forget, like such a nice dude. I met him through the music festival scene, was always a cool guy, but was one of those just kind of like democratic, socially open, like,
Yeah.
you know, everything is good. And he came to me years later and he was like, dude, I just wanted to let you know, like, I really thought you were a real asshole because of the stuff that you were saying online. And after 3 years of living through this and COVID and all the rest, I realized that you were actually on it all the way through. And I really didn't like you at that time. And now I realize that you've been on it that whole time. And I'm like, brother, like, welcome to the family, dude. That is the sweetest nectar. And I think that will continue to happen throughout the course of life, because this stuff is not, because our stuff will age. Like, I sleep well at night knowing that I'm putting out the thing that I believe authentically to my core, and only for that reason. And getting wealthy has never been a part of it. It's never been the purpose. And it's those things that it's like, that's what makes you feel rich.
Yeah, like, dude, I quite literally cannot think of a single instance in the last 5 years that I have posted something that I didn't like believe, or that I didn't like think was important and true to share. Yeah. And dude, we don't get everything right. It's not like everything that we post is right, but at least I know in my heart everything I'm sharing I actually believe is the truth and needs to be heard or needs to be said. And yeah, well said, man. Like, the amount of people, it really is the best feeling when somebody comes. It's not even like a gotcha feeling. It's like yeah, like, thank you for recognizing it, right? Like, I'm sorry that it took so long and it freaking sucks, but like, here we are. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the circus. You know it's the Matrix. It literally is the Matrix.
Yeah, it's like I knew you'd come around. I knew you'd see one day. And no, it's great, dude. That has been one of the best things, is when people say that. And for every one person that does that, there's 20 other people that I was very close with that knew me to be a man deserving of respect that have been like, fuck that, dude. Yep. So hey. Yep. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like, whatever. All right. But hey, let's answer this super chat. And then if you guys have any other questions, please drop in the super chats. Every single penny goes towards building this channel, guys. I don't have a team. My monitor is a broken screen Samsung flat screen thing that I found like upstairs in the friggin' closet, sitting on a cardboard box in front of me. So legitimately, like, every penny, guys, goes towards helping to build this channel and make it more so I can do this more and more for you guys. And then anything that you guys donate, I'll be splitting with Bobby as well for him being on here.
Snap. We about to buy some.
Guys, if you can donate some super chats, that's awesome. We appreciate it, and we will answer every single one of them. That's how you support the channel. All right, so let's talk about this one. Christine Murphy, thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. Have you guys looked in the Nancy Guthrie case and the connection Savannah's husband has to the Clintons? It's worth digging into. I actually have not followed the Guthrie case like at all. I've only like, there's been so many other things going on that, like, to me, it was one of those things that was just like another massive distraction. So I actually don't even know what's going on. I don't know, like, someone tell us. Like, do you know, Bobby? I have no idea.
No, I don't either.
I just know some lady went missing, and I don't even know who she is.
To me, it looked like slop. It looked like distraction slop. And when people were saying that Fox News was covering it wall to wall, I was like, nope. And the things that I have seen about it, look, obviously it's sad. You don't even have to say that.
Who is she though? Like, am I retarded for not knowing this? Who is she? No. Maybe I do know.
Savannah Guthrie she's a what is it called? Like an anchor on, I think, NBC. She's an NBC anchor. I guess they call him a journalist, but she's an NBC anchor of some sort. I think she might have moderated like a presidential debate or something at some point. She's basically like a Don Lemon or whatever of NBC. I think it's NBC.
Got it. Okay.
And her mom was kidnapped. And the thing that just screamed full slop to me, it's like, you're going to kidnap a lady, and look, I'm not too well versed in kidnapping, but I've watched a lot of true crime, probably more true crime than the average giraffe. And to think that you're going to case a house and kidnap a person and then walk directly up to the front door when you know there's a camera and then grab like a clump of weeds to block the camera, it just seems suspicious. And I haven't looked into it. To me, the Epstein thing and the Charlie Kirk thing have been the focus of my attention. I haven't looked into it enough.
Yeah, same here. So sorry, I can't really answer that one. I feel bad, but yeah. I mean, guys, here's the thing too. You got to understand, people like us, like it's probably not healthy how much I do know. So when I miss things, it's like, I don't want to pile that on. Like there's enough there, you know what I mean? And I really, really try to look into the stuff that seems to be the most prevalent, the most important. And like Bobby said, I also saw that it was being like broadcasted on Fox News day in, day out. And anything that's broadcasted on Fox News day in and day out is 100% absolute garbage. Like,
yeah. Like I saw all those Sean Hannity clips for the hang out with Sean Hannity, and I don't follow him on anything. So today,
Sean Gorslap Hannity.
Yeah. So today when I was gathering the clips to make fun of the show announcement, I went to his page and I was like, let me look at some of Sean's recent takes before I kind of like come at him here, even though I know he's a slop merchant. And I just went to his X and I looked back through a couple clips, and it was like him asking some question about Iran. And he's like, next up, Mark Levin. And then I clicked forward through the Mark Levin interview, and he's like squealing and screeching about Iran and like doing this emotional appeal. And I'm like, well, this guy's a demon, a literal demon. And this guy's on Hannity. So nope, like you're guilty through association. You're already the biggest influencer out there in the conservative space. You're paid by an organization that Trump had dinner with the owner of a week ago, right when all this Epstein stuff dropped. Like you're a propagandist, dude. You're
talking about Levin, right?
No, I'm talking about Sean Hannity. But
Hannity. Oh yeah.
No, Levin is a demon. But I'm just saying, Sean Hannity is not. He's not moving the needle of truth. Bro, he's not doing anything other than reading lines.
I don't think people realize this too, though. Hannity has been at the forefront of the Israel Hasbara propaganda campaign literally since day one. I mean, you've watched The Occupation of the American Mind, right? I sent that to you. Did you end up watching it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Hannity. Hannity's the one that was like constantly saying the same talking points. Bombs are raining down from this, and like that's Hannity.
Correct.
And that's like back in the freaking 80s. He's been saying it since the 80s. He's been towing this Hasbara line. He has been doing it since then. And this podcast is no different. All it is a pivot in the Hasbara campaign. That's all it is, dude. So
they're like, "Hello, fellow young kids. We're gonna do it. I'm in my man cave. I'm in my man cave playing darts."
They're like, "Cool with me. Like, would you like to play
Ted
some
Cruz.
billiards? We're gonna play some billiards, and we're gonna talk about the Jews."
Yeah. Like my first guest is Mark Levin. My next guest is Ted Cruz. It's like cool.
And next up, we'll play some Judeo-Christianity billiards.
Yeah, it's total like boomer slop garbage.
Ridiculous, bro.
And it's like, brother, we are not the same, dog. He just listed his house. He has a house in South Florida that he just listed for $45 million. It's like, brother,
screw these people, dude.
We is not the same. They're like, look, he eats barbecue just like the rest of you, Goyim. It's like, okay, dude.
Yeah,
sick. Sean eats barbecue like a real person. Fuck you.
Bro, he was also, I don't think people even remember this, but he was also, there was like a few months back when it was at like the height of that Israel propaganda campaign they were trying to push on us with Tatum and all those people. He was in that commercial with all those pastors with Glenn Beck. He was the one that literally ran it. The Friends of Israel one, you know what I'm talking about, where they're waving the little Israel flags in it?
Yes.
That was Hannity. Like, I think people forget this. Hannity has been at the forefront, dude. He's the poster child for Hasbara.
Oh, yeah. He's bricked up whenever Trump comes on.
How many of you
we've been friends forever?
Hasbara is? Do you guys know what we're talking about when we say Hasbara? I want to make sure, because if you don't, we're going to talk about that right now. And, dude, shout out to Manitoba Mama for the freaking super chats. You're the best. Thank you so much. We're going to get to those in just a minute.
What do you feel will happen?
But yeah, like what, before we answer that, How many of you guys know what Hasbara is? Put it in the chat if you know what we're talking about. Hasbara. If you don't know what it is literally the propaganda agenda, basically, that was created by the state of Israel, along with some of the biggest and most famous and successful advertising moguls from back in the day in like the late 80s. And the reason why is because they realized after they bombed Lebanon back in, I think it was like 87 or something like that, and the Sabra and Shatila camp that they basically massacred a bunch of Palestinians in. Well, it leaked into the news and they didn't expect it. It was like the second time that it's ever happened where it leaked into the news, and all of a sudden, all of the Zionist support that the West had been given, because they were completely manipulated for years and years and years, they started to turn. So this is one of the first times when the West actually started to turn on Israel, and instead of seeing them as an ally and instead of seeing them as little David, they started seeing them for what they really were. And when this happened, literally the state of Israel got with advertising executives from America, the best ones. The one guy that they got with was actually the one who was responsible for making Miller Lite beer, a guy's beer instead of a woman's beer, because it used to be a woman's beer and he completely changed it. He's a master of reframing, right? And then another guy named Frank Luntz, who was literally a master of reframing that worked for Fox News. And they got all these people together and they came up with a literal propaganda agenda campaign called Hasbara. Hasbara in Hebrew means to explain. And the whole purpose of it was, when we get hit with this negative press, basically when people start to see the truth, these are all the talking points that we're going to make sure we ram down their throats. And that's all we're going to do. And this is exactly how we need to say it and frame it in order to stay in good favor with the West, and in order to continue to garner support for Zionism and for and for our agenda to basically destroy the Palestinians and get away with everything we're getting away with. That is, you can look this up right now. That is not a conspiracy theory. It is 100% real. Go look up the what is it called? The language, World Language Dictionary or something like that, and it's in there. And then if you go back and actually watch like news clips and things during these conflicts in the Middle East and like the ceasefires or whatever, you can literally see them use all these talking points like, oh, bombs are raining down and they have to defend themselves and they use human shields. And what would you do? What would you do if you were if terrorists were digging tunnels under your city? What would you do? Like, they're literal talking points that they've been using forever. Well, so why am I explaining that? Because recently, with the rise of social media, they had to change. They had to pivot because they realized that the old media was not working anymore and the old talking points were not working anymore. So they literally reframed the entire Hasbara campaign, and that's why they brought the influencers to Israel. That's why they brought the pastors to Israel. That's why they've done all of these things over the last 3 to 6 months or whatever, is because they are pivoting this entire campaign. And it's all now geared towards podcasting, influencers, social media, and the church, Christian churches, pastors. Those are the 4 targets now. So now I want you to consider, who was it that was getting really, really loud about this and probably would have had the ability to completely destroy this agenda? And there you go. That's why we think he was killed by Israel. But anyway, that's what Hasbara is. Let's answer this question, though. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Let's answer this question. What does it say? What do you guys feel will happen if the Republicans tank in the midterms? Who do you see taking the reins? It feels like everything is theater, even though the issues are huge. Bobby, why don't you take that first? What do you think?
What will happen if the Republicans tank in the midterms? First of all, I don't think it's an if. I think it's a guaranteed lock, and I think that they deserve to tank in the midterms. Who do I see taking the reins? Well, it just means that the House, potentially the Senate, would be under Democratic control, and nothing will get passed at all. and everything that won't happen for the next 2 years will be blamed on the fact that the Democrats are holding it up. And we will likely have a second half term that is basically nothing. He'll get impeached on day one, and they'll probably file an impeachment immediately, if not twice on the first day. So it'll be basically a stalemate where absolutely nothing will be accomplished. But I think what people kind of forget about this is that they think that like what we're doing is with the intention of tanking the Republicans so that they can lose, so that the Democrats can win, which is farthest from the truth. What we're actually doing,
and we don't regret our vote, by the way. I don't, at least. Like,
I don't.
It's not like it's not like I would prefer freaking Camel Toe Harris in there. Like, miss me? Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, and that's not even. Yeah, that goes without saying. But I think that the point is that like there's enough time that they could actually turn it around. And if they were to actually do and respond to the things that all of us are saying, then they could actually turn around and they said, "Hey, listen. We messed up on this. We're going to fix this. We hear what you are all saying, and we're going to address these things." If they took the Epstein files seriously, if they went back to the mass deportations that they said, if they actually did the things that they said, if they got people like Mitch McConnell out of office, if he stopped palling around with Lindsey Graham, if they actually did things that would help the economy and actually help the average person, then they could turn it around. But they won't. And the only way that they would, or the only way that they will, would be if enough of us got loud about it and they started to make some new promises. And all of us, I think, would extend them the grace to say, okay, then now let's see what happens. Maybe you guys could fix this between now and October or whenever the midterms even are, January. So there's time for them to actually do it if they actually did acknowledge what was going on and what everybody's saying, but they're not. They're going to blame it on Thomas Massey. They're going to blame it on MTG. They're going to blame it on everybody but themselves, and they're going to make us out to be the.
They're going to blame it on the doomers and the anti-Semites, bro.
They're going to make us out to be bad, and it's like, okay, well then, and it's like they deserve to get their ass handed to them because of how they've gone back on all the things that they said they were going to do, and it's like. What good is our representation if they say one thing and then don't do it? So then what good is it? How did you re-earn my vote again? And it's not to say that I'm not going to show up and vote for Republicans in Florida, and I'm not going to go and participate in my local and state elections, but to think that like the vast majority of the country is going to go show out and vote against Thomas Massey, like that's what we're going to do. We're going to vote for Ed, who even knows what this dude does. Like it's pathetic. And if people like us that encouraged people to vote for them just sit here and regurgitate the slop and say, no, it's okay that they just meat slapped us in the face with this, then what good are we?
Yeah, dude. Well said. And I mean, here's the other thing too. I want to say this, like, yeah, because the amount of people that have, most people don't know this, and it's whatever. I'll just share it. My business, Official Patriot Gear, right? I have been like, obviously I have more support than I get attacked, but I've been attacked over the last, several months since I started getting very loud about this administration, because I'm being painted as somebody who is trying to divide the party and divide the conservatives and like all this other stuff. And it's divisive this and divisive that. And it's like, no. Believe me when I tell you, I wish I could have confidence and faith in this administration. I voted for them. I voted for Trump, dude. Like, even though I may not have ever been like a MAGA guy, I 100% went all in on Trump. I truly believed that he was going to do all the things he said he was going to do. Go back and watch his freaking address before he got elected, guys. I just want you to do that. All of you that are out there calling me a traitor or dividing the party or whatever, and like I shouldn't be saying the things I'm saying, go back and watch what he said before he got elected and then compare it to what has happened. And then come back to me and tell me that you think I'm still doing the wrong thing. Because I don't care what party it is. I don't care who is in power. I don't care which administration it is. Just like I was critical about the left and the Democrats when they were in power and all the stupid things they did and all the crap that they got us in, I'm going to do the same thing if the right does it too. Because I don't care about the parties. Because our biggest issue in our country is the party system. The party system itself is destroying us. It is actually so much more beneficial for people to be politically homeless and just base all of your decisions and all of the things you say and all of the things you talk about on whether or not the people that you elected are keeping their promises, okay, and are holding true to the values and the principles that you elected them to hold true to. And when they don't, when they step out of line, it doesn't make you like virtuous by just letting them do it because you're trying to save your party. You're not going to save anything. You're gonna help destroy it even farther, because what's happened is all of those people that now are in this category of I can't speak out about this. I can't attack the administration because I'm dividing the party. I'm dividing I'm making the Democrats win. That's the rhetoric that they are. That's the false ideology that they have come to believe. And let me tell you what they have become because of it. Loyalists. Okay? They have become loyalists. This country has gotten to the place now where it is patriots versus loyalists. That is 100% what has happened. And guess what, guys? That's how this country started. We're right back to where we started. We have a massive group of people that are just loyal to their party, regardless of what they say, regardless of what they do, solely because they have convinced themselves, and they've been convinced, that if they don't, the other party's going to win and they're going to lose everything and America's going to burn to the ground. It's a uniparty, guys. These people are paid by the same people. They are making decisions in very much the same way. Like, one side caters to one ideology and the other does the same, but at the end of the day, it's two wings of the exact same bird. I got news for you. And so I'm not attacking and I'm not dividing party. What I'm doing is actually speaking the truth. And that is why people like Thomas Massey are literally the only America First patriots left in Congress, because they're willing to stand up against both parties. Yes. They're willing to say what needs to be said, regardless of the party lines. And guys, the best thing that could possibly happen to America, honestly, is that both parties burnt to the ground and a new party rise. And it was one party that actually cared about the principles and the values that make America America and have our needs in mind, right? That's the best thing that could possibly happen. But guess what? It won't, because the two-party system is completely, it has a complete hold on our country. Everything that we do and think and say, think about this, right? It has gotten to the point where everything is political, guys. Every conversation you get into eventually will go to politics. Every time you look at somebody based on what they're wearing or the way they carry themselves or whatever, I guarantee you are immediately thinking, what party are they part of? Can I be friends with them? Can I associate myself with them? Are they the enemy? It is very manufactured. And the last thing I'll say is this. Just ask yourself, what has the two-party system done for you? Just ask yourself that simple question. You don't have to answer it, but just ask yourself that question. How has the two-party system specifically improved your life as an American? And I can promise you're going to come up empty-handed.
I don't actually think that the two-party system itself is the problem, because I think
it's what it's become.
Yes, and I understand what you're saying. I understand what the perspective you're saying, but I'll kind of try to frame it in a slightly different way. Yeah, I don't think that the two-party system itself is the issue. I think that there's a lot of other major countries that have multiple parties, and the fragmented nature of that multiple party system ends up being more of a waste of time than anything. So I think that the two-party system actually is probably highly likely the most efficient way of going about it. But what I think that the midterms can ultimately teach us is that what is the establishment Republican Party no longer serves the people that want to vote for anything that is not the Democrats or anything that is not the left. So in the event that you want to do that, you only have one option. And I don't necessarily think that to create a third option solves that problem. I think that the real problem to be solved is for the Republican Party to actually be the America First Party. If it actually was that, and you actually didn't have...
It would be different, for sure.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah. the problem is not the two parties itself. It's that the Republican Party is dog shit. And it's like they don't do a good job at representing our interests. They don't seem to be listening too much to what we're saying about our critiques of them or whatever. And it's like, who gets all the interviews? It's like Benny Johnson gets the interviews. Why is that? It's like these people that are entrenched. These people that are entrenched in the admin are the ones that get the interviews, that get the access. Who gets access on the left? They have TikTokers. Like, that's the thing that the left does brilliantly. Gavin Newsom, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, they brought all the influencer type people, all the people that had small audiences, and they brought them all in. They didn't just give interviews to Sean Hannity. And you can see this perfectly explained by how the left distributes the message. Like, they have 20-year-old TikTokers, 25-year-old TikTokers. They have these small accounts and small creators that get access to all of these things. There doesn't appear to be a lot of gatekeepers in that place. And if you look at the top level of
that's a great point.
Yeah, you look at the top level of left-wing, let's say, journalists, Don Lemon, Joy Reid, all these other people, they get all those people out and they swap them in with new people. And now you have Joy Reid and Don Lemon all working independently, moving the party forward together. And Don Lemon still gets the interviews and Joy Reid still gets the interviews.
Yeah, like there's really no, like when you really think about it, there's really no like biker gang, like there is on the right. Like the biker gang that's on the right there's nothing like that really on the left. Like everybody on the right can name the most prominent and most propped voices, like easily. You can just rattle them all off like that.
Yeah, and who gets,
and that's what they are. They're state-run propagandists.
And who gets on Gutfeld? Who gets on Hannity? Who gets on what's
Piers
his
Morgan,
name? Yeah. Who gets on all of the right-wing interviews? Laura Ingraham. It's like it's the same people. It's Ted Cruz. It's Lindsey Graham. It's the same people.
And the only way that somebody ever gets on those that isn't one of those people, because I'm sure this has happened to you too. Well, not only, it's only if because this has happened to me so many times. I never talk about this, but I'll talk about it now. The amount of times that I've been told, hey, we want to have you on the show. And I'm talking big shows. I'm talking Fox News. I'm talking freaking all these major news outlets, right? You guys have probably noticed I've really never been on any kind of news outlet. The reason why is because every single time they've invited me on, it has been only to talk about the current thing and figure out how to make that relate to what I'm doing. But every single time it's been like, all I'm going to be doing is pushing propaganda if I do that. And that's the reality. The only way that you get on these news channels or whatever, or outlets, if you're not one of those people in the freaking gang, right, is if you're willing to just talk about the current thing and make that relatable. They don't actually care about your voice and what you have to say. And that is, you're right. Like, I think there's two things. I think that is one of the biggest issues, but I think the other issue in reality, let's just call a spade a spade. It's the lobbies. It's the fact that the parties are bought and paid for. And that is the main reason why these people don't actually care about us and don't actually push policy that is in our benefit, because they're getting paid and they're influenced by the lobbies. I mean, Charlie even talked about it before he was killed. He talked about the fact that it's the one big club that they talk about. He said it's actually one small club, and these people are actually who are controlling both sides of the political aisle. And that is the issue, because you're right. The two-party system technically would be better than, like I don't know, like a Canada. Freaking, like I think Costa Rica has like 6 different political parties or something. Like, obviously that's not beneficial.
Canada has multiple.
Yeah, same thing. But that being said, the reason why it fails is because they're both bought and paid for. And because it's not us. It's these freaking legacy politicians that are 70, 80 years old. They have 10 years left of their lives. They don't give a shit about the 30, 40, 50, 60 years that we have left on the earth. So they make all the decisions that, who cares? Money, power, fame, control, as fast as I can get it. And we need a complete overhaul. If we had a complete overhaul, maybe we could fix the two-party system, right? But
yeah, anyway. Well, that's the thing. It's like, I see people like Thomas Massey, and it's like, here's a person that actually represents what America First is supposed to be. And people are so addicted to the slop that they have the audacity to say that Thomas Massey is the rhino. like it's like up is down. Like they completely have it backwards. It's like the least rhino person that there is Thomas Massie. And Trump says he's stupid, he's a grandstander. And it's like, okay, so it's like, is Trump not everything that he said he was? It's like Thomas Massie has been ideologically consistent, and the smear campaign on him is a perfect representation that it's like, if this is what the modern Republican Party is, then am I really a Republican? It's like, is that really what it is?
I'm not a Republican. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not a Republican. Like 100% not. I vote Republican, and I have voted Republican, but I am 100% not. Whenever somebody asks me now what I am an America First patriot. Period. I'm a constitutionalist. Like that is the bottom line. That is what I am. I am whatever is actually America first. And at this point, America only. Like I'm done with this insane freaking all of my money going to pay for another country in their war machine. Like it's insane, dude. It's absolutely insane. And yeah, man.
Well, and the other thing too is that the left-wing mainstream media is able to, I think, persuade the politicians to do things in their interest. It's like, I think that the Democrat Party in a lot of ways takes their marching orders from the media more than 100%. They do, because they understand the power that it has. But the Republican side, I think it's actually the opposite. It's like, if Trump and or the Republican Party, and they have this big loyalty thing, if Fox News starts coming out and going against what Trump says, Trump will say to every person in the admin, no more interviews on Fox News. We completely cut them off. And then their cash flow is completely jeopardized by the fact that they're coming at them. So they say, if you want to monetize us, you have to push what we say. I think it goes the opposite way on the left, where they're just like, you guys need to say what we want you to say, otherwise we will destroy you. And is one better than the other? I don't know. But it's like Fox News, if we want to say that Fox News has the ability to potentially be purposeful and actually speak on behalf of the people, they could actually change the way that it is. They could put somebody like Thomas Massie and give him the ability to have the floor, and not just put Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham and all these same like neocon types, these warhawk types out there as being the voice of the Republican movement or whatever. It's like they could have somebody like an MTG on more often and not come at her, which is what they did, and essentially ran her out of town. So that's why so many of us don't find any home in anything that Fox News does, because they do have the ability to change it. And they took the one guy that had the ability to change it and they fired him. And that was Tucker. They fired their top dog. And why did they do that? Because he was jeopardizing their ability to have access to the admin. So it's like, that is a perfect representation of what I'm saying. And now Tucker is way more like us. He has people on that you would never see on Fox News.
It's insane to me
people
when
like
people
Ian
try
Carroll.
to push. It's crazy to me when people try to push the Tucker's compromise, because it's like, bro, every time I listen to that guy, I'm not saying he's perfect by any means, but every time I listen to one of his interviews, I'm like, yeah, this is a real authentic interview. Like, you cannot prove otherwise. He's interviewing everyone. He's talking about everything. The way he presents things is very, very clear and concise. It's not like, it never comes off as propaganda, even though the idiots that are actual propagandists like to say so. Like, it's just, and I'll be honest, this is, another thing that we have in common. Where I really started to quote unquote turn on Trump, I guess, what people want to call it, it was literally when I saw what he did with Massie. Like, all the other stuff that he had done prior to that, I was like, whatever, all right, that sucks, but okay.
He endorsed Massie.
But dude, the minute that he started going after Thomas Massie and propping up people like Lindsey Graham and freaking Randy Fine and these other absolute demons, I was like, okay, we're done. What are we doing here? This is crazy. Because and then the MTG thing, dude. And you know what's funny is, I actually didn't even really like Marjorie Taylor Greene. There were so many times where I just thought that she was like the most cringe MAGA loyalist on planet Earth. Yes. And I actually didn't like her at all. But I could at least recognize that this lady put everything on the line for this guy. And then he turns around and calls her a freaking traitor.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yes. She was playing, and look, and there's a lot people can say you could have criticisms of Marjorie, you could have criticisms of Tucker. None of us is here to say that these people are perfect. But one thing that
I have criticisms of all of them.
But one thing that I could say about like, let's use Tucker. It's like Tucker might be wrong in our opinion, but I believe that he believes what he says he believes.
Yes.
And I believe that MTG believes what she says she believes.
Yes.
And I do think that she played the game for what she thought would get her to the right place. And she probably went back on some of the things that she thought or believed, and then only to be thrown in the mud and called a traitor by the person that she was, I think, one of the biggest bulldogs for, I think is very telling. And it just goes to show that it's like, if that's how you'll treat your friends, then it's like, well, then what are we? And like,
that's what I'm saying, dude.
The thing that there was a moment for me when Trump just like lost me completely, where the Epstein files came out and he was like, you guys are still talking about this. And he's like, if you believe in this, then I don't want your support. And I was like, brother, all right, if that's okay. You guys said this, you did this, we fought for you. And you said, we don't want your support anymore. And it's like, okay, fine. If that's what you're going to say, then fine. And people have the audacity now to like jump into my comments and be like, you're not supporting President Trump. And it's like, brother, what has President Trump done to support me? Yeah. If you do 100 things, if there's 100 things that you say you're going to do and you do 40 of them, but then you tell me to shut the fuck up about the other 60 and you don't want my support.
And the 60 are actually the ones that matter.
Yeah. And out of that 60, there's one that's really important. And you're like, no, fuck you. It's like, okay, so I'm not against President Trump. My objective is not to carry out a vendetta against him.
But also that doesn't matter.
Right. Like, or to minimize all the good things that have been done. That's not to be said. What's been done at the border is good. There's a lot of things that are good, but I'm not going to pretend that everything is good. And if I did, then all of my criticisms of Joe Biden would be meaningless because I'm just doing the same thing that Hannity does or any of this. Isn't the left crazy? Well, if I don't call out my own people for the same thing, then I'm nothing more than Sean Hannity. I just don't have $50 million. I don't have all the other things that he has. But I'm serving the same purpose. And it's like, you don't need another Fox News. No one's subscribing to us on Instagram or on YouTube or X or anything else because they need Sean Hannity in a different face.
Bingo.
I'm not there to fill that. I'm not there to fill that void. What I'm trying to be is what I would hope that everyone in the Republican Party would be, everyone in the Conservative Party, everyone in the America First movement would be. Call out your own people for your own thing. That's how you get them to do what you find to be important. And if I'm going to use my very little audience to not do that, then do I even deserve an audience at all?
It's great. It's a great point. The other thing too is, I don't know if you get this as well, but ever since I started being very critical about like the administration and the decisions that they're making, all these different things, like, dude, I also get the people that are like, you never talk about the left. And I'm like, brother, sister,
I did that for 4 years.
For 5 years.
Yeah, we all did that.
And I'm like, what? And this is the thing. This is the thing, right?
They also don't have power right now.
Yeah, well, exactly.
So what the
but also it's like, okay, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like the left is not the ones that are freaking steering the ship right now. So I'm not going to go criticize the dude mopping the floor. I'm going to criticize the captain steering the ship. Yeah. That's what I care about. Like, correct. I don't give a crap about the cook. I care about the captain, right? Mm-hmm. And more than that, though, right? More than that. What does it do? What does it accomplish? You know how easy it is for me to go, I'll tell you what I would do. If I would do what you guys want me to do, those ones that are like attacking me about not attacking the left, all I have to do is go on my phone right now, go to Libs of TikTok page, find the most ridiculous, insane liberal video goy slop that I can find, download the video, do a reaction. It'll get 100,000 views in 1 hour and a half. Okay. And then what is that? And I'll probably get 2,000 comments of people saying, yeah, this is ridiculous. What a psycho. We hate these people, blah, blah, blah. What does it accomplish? Yeah, it doesn't accomplish anything. All it does is continue to create more divide, more chaos, more noise, less knowledge, more information, all of the things that we don't need right now. So yeah, while I think liberals are insane and while I think these people are absolute psychopaths, it does nothing for me to talk about that because it's not an actual issue. It doesn't affect whether or not I can freaking pay for my kids to afford groceries for the month. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect whether or not you can fill up your gas tank. And it doesn't affect whether or not you and your kids are going to go to war.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Well,
and that is the biggest lie that is continually told. And when I look at these conservative influencers, and that's the ones that only ever do that, let me tell you why they do it. The way that they say it, right? You'll have these guys that'll speak out and they will act like they're talking to the left. Okay, I want you to go watch it next time. Pay attention to this. Next time you watch one of these conservative influencers make a video that is just bagging on the left, pay attention to how they do it. They position it as if they're talking to the left, right? They position it as if they're talking to a literal liberal standing in front of them. And they're screaming at the liberal and they're accusing them of this and they're talking about this and they're calling them crazy and everything. But guess what they're actually doing, guys? They're talking to you because they know that a leftist is never actually going to see that content. Their audience is not liberals. This is the point of an echo chamber because their audience is you. And you guys are the ones that are commenting, not the liberals. The liberals aren't in the comments saying, ugh, like, it's not the liberals. It's just you. That's it. And so that's why I don't do it. Because what does it accomplish? Nothing. And that's what all these MAGA shills do too. Go watch it. Go watch it and you'll never be able to unsee it. You'll never be able to unsee it. And hopefully it'll make you appreciate people like us that actually try to talk across the aisle. Because I do. When I make videos, I genuinely think, what do I actually want to say to reach the other side? Right? What can I say that will cause actual conversation to happen? And if you don't believe me, I pin the comments when they make them. Go look at some of the comments that have been left on my posts. Hey, lefty here, been following you since 2020, still here. I absolutely hate most of what you stand for, but I appreciate the fact that you tell the truth and you actually try to have the conversations. That's the messages that I get. And I'll tell you what, guys, those messages are far more valuable to me than someone commenting, yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, than I can possibly explain to you. Because it means that I'm actually making a difference. It means I'm actually using this freaking platform for what it's meant to be or what it should be.
Yeah, you know? Now, if you want to see that played out in real time, you can go no further than to watch the Dan Bongino show. Like I've watched it the last couple of days, just to see. And
he's not talking to the left. He's talking to the right.
And he's literally like, these lefty Looney Tunes, these leftist news organizations are mischaracterizing this thing. And it's like, dude, we won. We won, bro. Like the place for that, if we have a purpose other than to self-enrich, the place for that was the last 4 years to encourage people to vote for not that. That was the point.
What we did.
Which is what we did.
And relentlessly.
And we won. And now you have us winning, and it's like, okay, how do you make the best and the most of this time?
Yeah, let's actually play the game now.
Look at these lefty Looney Tunes on MSNBC saying the dumb shit they always say. Yeah, let them.
Yeah, who
cares?
We know. We talked about it for 5 years. We don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because now the focus is to improve the quality of the power that you have now. So it's like, so what you should be doing is completely ignoring the left for the 4 years and saying, here's how we make the right the best. Here's the politicians on the right that are doing good things. Thomas Massey is saying this. A lot of people like it online. Why don't we let him air this out? Oh, you guys have a problem with Trump. What should he do? What does he need to know? All right, we want to win the midterms. Instead of saying we need to win the midterms because the left is insane, we have to say we need to win the midterms. Here's why we're going to win the midterms. Here's what the right is going to do.
Because we don't want 4 more years of communism. And we don't want 4 more years of insane open borders. And we don't want 4 more years of boys being in the bathroom with my daughter and all the things that you hate, all of the things that you I'll say this though. I do want to point something out. You said Bongino's a good example of what I was talking about. I actually disagree because Bongino, the difference between Bongino and the kind of influencer that I'm talking about is Bongino he doesn't make content like he's talking to the left. He literally does talk to the right, but all he does is rile the right up against the left. Yeah. That's what it's just a different way of looking at it. You know what I mean? But like because he's more blatant. He's just straight up trying to get the right riled up and pissed off for absolutely no reason. But that being said, dude, it's so well said. Like, that's at the end of the day, that is a thing. I think that's the thing that people like us are so frustrated with. It's like, dude, we don't care about the left slop because we won. Like,
Yes.
we don't have to worry about that. Most of the country is aligned in the fact that we don't want dudes in women's bathrooms now. And most of the country is aligned with the fact that we don't want tons of illegal immigrants in our country. And all of those things are good. So what are we doing? We are attacking the people that are not focusing on actually fixing the problems that we fought about for 5 years.
Right.
Like foreign influence, like other flags being waved in our Congress, right? Do you guys remember when the Ukraine flag, when freaking Pelosi and Kamala held up the Ukraine flag in the back of Congress? Do you remember the outrage? Do you remember how many of these right-wing hacks were losing their minds over it? Yes. And now, how many Israeli flags are flying in our damn Congress right now? Every single one of these people have an Israeli flag in their hand. Every one of them. And crickets. So everything we fought for 5 years, now we're just going to stand by and let it all happen? No, we're not. And I'll be damned if we let it happen, right? First, real quick, shout out, because this has been up forever. Shout out to Carmen. Thank you, Carmen, for hooking us up. I freaking appreciate you. Hopefully you're still on here, but thank you so much. And then there was another one I saw.
Somebody in the comments, he says, he, she, whatever, they, them. She said, enjoy losing the midterms and seeing absolutely no progress during Trump's term. Dog, that's the whole point, is that the progress that we're seeing is minuscule at best. And it's
you know what? Tell us the progress.
What's the progress we're getting?
Tell us what the progress is.
With the exception of the border.
The border isn't even progress right now, dude.
Right. But I'm just saying, with the exception of the border and several other small things, it's like, there's a lot of progress. There's a lot of progress that has not occurred. And look, I understand it's only been a year, but it's like the things that they're declaring are proving what the future actions are going to be. They're dictating to us what it's going to be. And it's like we're solving some decade-long war between one random country and some other random country, and we deserve a peace prize now. It's like, and last time I checked, there's a lot of stuff in America that are still squirrely. The economic stuff that he's talking about, I don't really think is helping all that much. And I think a lot of the promises made have not been promises kept and won't be. So, like, what is the progress that we're supposedly missing out on?
And he also said something else. I want to read his other comment too, because it says talking. This just goes to show, like, this. I'm sorry, bro, but you are the kind of people that I'm talking about. You are exactly what this party wants. Talking across the aisle is not doing anything. The left might agree with you because you bash who they're opposed to. Now should be a time to rally together, but you're just stifling momentum.
No, we aren't. We aren't stifling. They've stifled it.
Stifling the momentum.
They did it to themselves. It's like our fault.
We are not causing
you and me
them
are
to lose the midterms.
Dividing it.
They are losing the midterms because they're not actually doing anything, dumbass. Okay? I'm sorry. Whoever you are, you're a freaking moron. And I will call you out all day long because you are the definition of what the problem at hand. You are so manipulated and you believe so strongly that these people care about you and that your party is the ultimate answer, even though they literally show you every single day with their actions that they are everything that you hate, that they are the opposite of what you actually want and need, but you just refuse to see it. So momentum, there is no momentum, but it's not because of people like us. It's because of them. It's
Correct.
because they lied about the Epstein files.
Yes.
They suppressed the Epstein files after running on them. Okay, and everybody that says they didn't run on them, brother, go look at how many times on podcasts and press conferences and everything else these people talked about releasing the Epstein files. Kash Patel himself made an entire podcast tour on the Epstein files disclosure. Yes. Okay, so miss me. So that's one thing, right? Aside from that, they've walked back actually kicking the immigrants out of our country. They walked back the whole Minnesota thing. They've walked back all of the they've walked back all the Maha crap, right? Go look at it. Like this, I'm not lying, dude. This is there. We're not actually taking dyes out of our food anymore, which, by the way, even when we were going to, it was going to be a 5-year process. What do you think happens when the Democrats get into power? They're going to shoot that down like that. Okay? So no progress has actually been made because these people haven't made decisions that are actually solving the problems that they said they were going to solve. Instead, they're focused on wars in the Middle East, more influence in our country, foreign influence. They're focused on building tech platforms and AI surveillance platforms. They're focused on the war machine itself. They're focused on freaking the stock market is at 50,000 while there's kids being eaten by elites. Okay? That's why you're losing. That it's not because of us, and you're a moron for saying that.
And the spending, bro. One of the big things that they talked about was the spending, and then they passed the big beautiful bill, which basically was another outrageous spending bill that was absolutely massive, and it will probably turn out that Trump will spend even more money than Biden did. And who voted against?
$39 trillion in debt, guys.
Right, and the only person speaking against that was Thomas Massey. It's like, dude, and he's the rhino, and they want him kicked out of the party. So we are dividing. We're stifling the progress. Literally, lots of laughs.
I can't even imagine. I can believe that people like you exist and that you would think that. I really can, because that is what we're talking about right now. This whole night we've been talking about how these people literally have cooked you guys' brains and have made you believe in a fairy tale. They have made you believe that all of the people that oppose their fairy tale agenda are your enemy. And dude, this is, I'm sorry, but history is repeating itself. Go look at the other countries that have fallen. This is exactly how it happens. All the people that are actually trying to make a difference, that are actually trying to raise a warning signal and like get you guys to wake the hell up, they're the first ones that get attacked by the so-called good guys. They're the ones that are demonized. They're the ones that are rounded up and put in the gulag. And before you know it, you're standing with your back against the wall getting shot in the face by the same party that you think was there for you the whole time. Sorry, that's the reality. Well, that's what you're dealing with.
It's funny too because the inflation, like one of the things Peter Schiff was talking about in the podcast is he was talking about how Trump was complaining that he inherited all this inflation from Biden. And truthfully, Biden inherited a ton of inflation from Trump. And the inflation was actually pulled down during Biden's term. But all of that high inflation was right as Trump got out of office, before any of those spending bills or any of those things passed. So all that inflation came as a result of the CARES Act, all of the stuff that happened during COVID, and a lot of other things. So he handed a lot of inflation to him. And this person that's leaving the comments on YouTube, it's mad funny to have like a Instagram or have a handle called knowledge when you're clearly not having knowledge. But he said there's a lot of great things happening. Focusing on the Epstein files is a trap you're playing into the Dems' hands. So it's like that is the perfect out for every possible thing of consequence. It's like you're playing into the Dems' hands. It's like if you say that the CARES Act was a big waste of money, if you say that ending the Doge program was a huge waste of money, if you say that the big beautiful bill was playing into the Dems' hands, then you can never call out your own side for doing nothing wrong. If you're just going to inhale slop all day and say that this is what the Dems want, it's like, no, this is what we want. If that's playing into the Dems' hands, then call me a Dem then. Oh, because I want the thing that you told me you were going to do? That's playing into the Dems' hands? No, you know how you could not play into the Dems' hands? Do what you said you were going to do. It's very simple.
I'm gonna do something really quick, okay? And right. I just want you to pay attention to this. All especially you, knowledge, beefcake, whatever your name is.
It's beautiful. It's big.
Yeah. I'm going to show you something that should change your perspective a little bit. I hope, because I think that, I actually feel sorry for you, because the reality is I don't think you actually understand you don't actually understand policy. You don't understand spending bills. You don't understand any of these things. And so it's easy to just latch on to, don't talk about the Epstein files because it's a distraction with the Democrats. Focus on what? What are we focused on?
We gotta
Focus
stop
on
responding to
just making him win.
This dude is going to listen to the Hangout with Sean Hannity podcast. Like, we're wasting our time with that. But another perfect example of it is the Trump accounts. I don't think I saw a single person, with the exception of maybe one or two, say that the Trump accounts was bad, other than me, where I was like, wait a second, guys, we're doing socialism now because it's for the kids. Like, I didn't see a lot of people talk about it. And it's like, that is a perfect example of people just slurping up MAGA stuff. It's like, we're $40 trillion in debt, and now we're going to borrow more money, aka create more inflation, to give money from everyone, borrow money on behalf of everyone, to give to some people because we believe or perceive the thing that they're doing to be beneficial. That's no different than bailing people out of college loans. It's the same thing. And you guys complained about that all throughout Biden's term. Oh, they're absolving these college loans. This is the same thing. You're borrowing money to give money to some people. And the fact that it's kids is a very tactical cover, but it's the same shit. So if you have no principles, then you'll say, look, guys, isn't this so great? And every Con Inc. MAGA slop account was like, Trump accounts, Trump accounts, Trump accounts. That shit's bad. I have seen barely anybody talk about that.
If you're going to waste money, might as well waste. At this point, I think we're actually fighting with a bot.
That's but that's the same Democrat logic. Because if that's the case, then bail all the kids out of the college. Then why don't we give everybody $1 million, dude? It's like, do people not understand how inflation works or whatever?
No, they don't. That's my point. They don't understand how inflation works. They don't understand how any of these things work. But I'm about to show you guys a video that's going to change your perspective on everything. While you watch this video, I just want you to consider the following. We are $39 trillion in debt. That money has to come from somewhere. Where do you think it's coming from? We just sent another $12.6 billion to Israel for fighter jets and more military spending for their military conquest that we have nothing to do with. That's going to get us into a potential world war with talks of nuclear problems, okay? Keep that all in mind, while also keeping in mind how many billions of dollars do we send monthly to Israel? I think it was like, I read somewhere that it was like, or yearly, sorry. It's like $3.5 billion or something like that yearly in just aid. Okay. Keep all that in mind. And then I want you to just consider how much money you have in your bank account and how much money you think you're going to make your entire life. Watch this video. $39 of those is what our debt is right now. And that billion stack that you saw, that was, or that, what was it? I think it was it 10 billion that was stacked by that like Mack truck, showing the comparison of that? Yeah, we send that to Israel like every few months. Okay. How much money do you have in your bank account right now? How much money will you ever make in your entire life if we continue to do this? Or just in general. Okay, and now I want you to consider this. This dude that you think is your savior, this dude that you think is, according to you, like, he can't do it alone, he needs Congress. Bro, this guy doesn't give a shit about you. And he's got more money than you can even fathom in your mind. He's not worried. And by the way, I'm just going to say it, over the last how many months, Bobby, he's literally created that same amount of wealth for his kids. Like, each individually are like billionaires because of shorting crypto stocks and shorting stocks in general. Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm done with just playing the part and like acting like you guys actually understand what's going on, because the fact is these people do not give a shit about us. And they're showing it every single day. So what momentum are you talking about? And what the hell do we get from the midterms if these people continue to win? They haven't proven anything other than they are robbing us blind, covering up the most disgusting, horrific, evil thing you can possibly cover up, while distracting us with nothing but propaganda and hiring more and more propagandists to put us further and further down the rabbit hole of chaos and divide. So there's that.
Yeah, and the argument about like oh, we should give it to the kid. It's like they're not cutting the spending. They're not. It's not like they're moving money out of. It's not like they're moving money away from welfare spending and then putting it towards the kids. It's like we're broke. Like the money is being borrowed, and all of our money is being devalued for it. And like not for nothing, the military budget is the largest single budget of anything, and we're interjecting our war power, our might into all of these other issues that is only caught. It's like, this is not our fight to fight. It's not. And
they just announced another $3 trillion. They're raising by $3 trillion. They're raising the war budget.
Right. And on top of all that, it's like, I thought we were doing no new wars. I thought we were doing America first. I thought we were doing no any of those things. And then they're like, well, the money that we send to our greatest ally comes back and they buy American military arms, and that's good for the American economy. It's like, so we're giving them the military art. Like, it's like they're spending it here. It's like, if I give you $1,000 and then you pay me $1,000 to build you a house, I just gave you a free house. Like, what the hell are we talking about? And not to mention, I borrowed the money. I borrowed the money to give you the free house, and paid myself back with money that I borrowed. And all of that money is being represented out in the marketplace in all of these things that we're all paying more money for. We are being literally taxed out the ass, number one. Then we're being taxed through inflation. That is the second hidden tax. And then on top of all that, they're levying tariffs on top of that and saying that is being paid by other countries when that is being paid by us also. So it's like we're getting triple dipped on. And then like the best they can do is like, Lindsey Graham is good and Thomas Massey is bad, and we need to spend this money on this big beautiful bill and finance DHS to the tune of like a bigger budget than the army of like half the countries of the world. And like the
Trump
best we could,
RX.
yeah, and
Trump RX.
Yeah, and the best we could do is like, we're gonna pull out of Minneapolis because like some psychopath like started kicking a car. Like it doesn't even make sense. The best we can do is
Kid Rock and freaking RFK doing a shirtless workout in their house.
And people are like, this is epic.
While they pull.
Yeah. You could have, and like, here's the thing. You could have not wasted RFK's time. You could have not utilized Kid Rock, because who even cares what Kid Rock does? You could have had any of these health administrations. I bet you could get any health influencer, for example, or any real health person, run and manage all of these things, and RFK would need to be in no video. That is a complete waste of time, a complete waste of resources, and is perfectly emblematic of the things that we would make fun of the left for doing. But nobody cares because they want a hot, sticky load of MAGA on their chin, and they feel nice and warm with that. And it's like, and then they're like, you're dividing the party. It's like, brother, I saw RFK get into a pool with jeans on. Shut the fuck up. Like, what are we talking? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? You would be making fun of them for that.
Kid Rock's like 65 years old or something. Like, how old is Kid Rock right now?
He's doing like a poor form, like bicep curl. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Dude, the best thing was the freaking when they, and this will be a perfect segue into the next piece, and then we'll call it. But the best was the freaking alternate halftime show where it was like faith-based Christian conservative halftime show, and yet Kid Rock gets on the stage and the first song he sings is "Ba with the Ba," which is like one of the most immoral.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, literally, all he talks about in that song is like prostitutes and drugs.
Yeah, crack.
That CD, like, hey, don't get me wrong. I watched it. I like Kid Rock. I listen to his music, but like trying to pander and pretend that it's some kind of like Christian alternative is insane, because his CD the one that had his finger like this, that was the first explicit CD that I ever owned as a kid that I hid from my parents for a year.
Yeah, I remember when I got Devil Without a Cause. I think it was like after the third song. There was like a song with that little guy. And then
dude.
There was this one.
Yeah.
There was this one song that was like very, very explicit.
Dude,
and
the
I remember
CD was bad.
And I remember when it came on, and I was like,
"My parents catch me, I'm screwed."
Yeah, I remember when it came on, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like track 5 is bad.
And yes, the answer is yes. He does talk about underage girls multiple times.
Yeah.
And again,
no, exactly.
I'm not trying, like I even said this when it happened. I'm not trying to like, put myself out there like I'm trying to like judge people for listening. I listen to Kid Rock, dude. I love Kid Rock's music. I think it's awesome. I'm just simply pointing out the fact that the hypocrisy in that whole thing and the fact that MAGA couldn't see through it is mind-blowing, because all it was another money grab. And they used your faith against you to do it. Dude. That's all it was. Dude. Because guess what? All of those people, every single one of those people, right when that show was over, guess what they were doing? Oh, it was also pre-recorded or something anyway.
It was.
So the show was pre-recorded. Guess what? All of those people that were promoting it as a God-fearing, faith-based, family-based Christian thing, they were at the Super Bowl or watching the Super Bowl. And guess what they watched? The halftime show. Because they were all at the pre-recorded halftime show with Kid Rock. So they all saw, like, it's just crazy to me, dude. It's crazy that people can't see this. Like, you're being used. And you can't see it because it's your party and your person and your team. And it's like, dude, wake the freak up. Which brings me to the next piece, which is freaking Erika and Candace speaking.
One thing, what I'll say is, like, one thing that I thought was so funny is that Trump had a Super Bowl watching party at Mar-a-Lago, and they were watching the Super Bowl halftime show.
All the influencers were there.
Yeah,
the Soviets, like
watching the Super Bowl halftime show, and it's like, yo, this is like the most laughable thing. And like, there's clips of him online watching it, and you're just like, bro.
And by the way, that Super Bowl halftime show was actually like,
wasn't that bad?
I don't really like Bad Bunny. Like, that's not my kind of music. But dude, it wasn't even like bad. It was actually
wasn't even political.
Compared to other ones, yeah. Compared to other ones in the past, there was really like no satanic symbolism. It was actually pretty wholesome. They had a couple get married, a man and a woman get married. They were talking about like culture. And dude, it's just, and then all of a sudden, what does MAGA come out with the next day? Actual racist comments, you morons.
Like, and they said they wanted to do a probe. And they said they wanted to do a probe. They're like, we're going to open an investigation into the words that he said. And I was like, yo, that is absolutely hilarious, dude.
Bro, were you there when Dr. Dre and Eminem performed? Like, are we being serious right now?
I made a video about that. Yeah.
Did you talk about them specifically?
Yes. I was like,
it's like, dude, Eminem talks about like killing his wife.
Yes, I know. No, but I know, and because they were all outraged about Bad Bunny, and I'm like, are we just gonna pretend that we didn't have Eminem and Dr. Dre? I made a video about that, and I'm like, I guarantee you that Eminem's albums are worse than anything Bad Bunny has ever said, and I never even listened to his music by 100
times.
Right, and they're like, no, we're gonna do a congressional probe or whatever into the, and I'm like, you guys are so fake and full of shit. And like, dude, the Kendrick Lamar halftime show was way more political, was way more charged than that. I thought it was completely mild, and everybody was all freaking out and played right into his hands by saying he's going to wear a dress. There was no dress.
No, and now
he played everybody.
I really think at this point it's a bot. So this is the last one I'm going to answer, but I'm going to say something. He says Trump probably should have been watching it to be aware of what most of the public are watching. The lyrics of the song are disgusting. Have you seen the translation?
Dude, brother, this guy's not a real person. Who cares?
I don't think so either, but I'm just going to, let me just educate you for a minute.
Trump was playing 5D chess. He was watching the Super Bowl show, so he knew what other people. What the fuck are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense. He could have watched it on YouTube. That's stupid.
Hold on. I'm about to make this man feel very.
If you're not a bot, then your brain is fried. Your brain is slop, dude.
Just hang tight. Hang tight there.
Slop for brains.
There, knowledge boy.
Slopping it up.
Hang on. Trump this is let me just educate you for a second there, knowledge.
We live in hell.
It's hell.
We
All right,
live
here
in
we
a
go. Actually, I don't know if
dumpster.
I'll be able to. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. Let's see. Oh, damn it! Hold on a second. Keep going. I'm gonna find it. I found the wrong thing, but keep going. I'm gonna just put this up. Say what you will.
If we do not focus on holding our own representation accountable for the things they say that we believe that they should focus on, if we don't make our voices heard in the interim between votes, then we have no purpose. If we just inhale the slop and cheer it on, then they have no reason to ever do anything for us. If we say that everything is going great and we're all going to show up in the midterms, what incentive is there for them to do anything differently? There is none. It's only people freaking out and yelling about it that causes people to do something. If you say, I will withdraw your support, if you're willing to walk away from the table, that puts you in the best negotiating position. So if you are just like, yeah, feed me slop and I'll vote for more slop, then that's what you're going to get. Slop in, slop out. You don't criticize. You don't make known what you don't like and what you do like about what's happening. You can only expect to get more slop.
Yeah. So, Mr. Have you read the lyrics? This is the first verse of the song that Kid Rock opened up with in the family-based, Christian-based alternative halftime show for Turning Point USA. Okay. I'll just leave that there. Go read the Bad Bunny lyrics, and I dare you to compare them. like it's not even. This is my point. Like, it's just complete hypocrisy. So anyway, I don't know if those even went through. I hope they did. But so let's move on to this. Erika and Candace, because I do want to talk about that. There's people in here that want to talk about it too. So what's your take? Did you watch the episode today? Because I did not watch it. Let's talk about that for a minute. Yeah,
I mean, aside from the episode today, which is basically just going into Erika's past, I generally believe that it is right and correct for the people to understand the background and connections and ultimately understand the behavior patterns of people that lead large organizations, especially ones that we want to do, will, or already have supported. Will continue to share their content, go to their events, buy their tickets, whatever else, donate to them, and understand that the politicians that ultimately will represent us can be anointed and or elevated as a result of the decisions that are made at the top of those organizations. So if that organization holds a lot of political clout in the side that you believe is going to represent you, then you deserve to know the background and the connections and the ideology of that person and whether or not you can trust them. And with Charlie, in the case of Charlie, we had a decade of material. We had every speech, we had every post, we had X posts going up 100 times a day. We had a live show 2 hours a day, every single day. We had live events, we had speeches. We saw the way that he lived his life. We saw the other people that he elevated and gave and brought into the system. His body of work was beyond transparent. The vast majority of people know almost nothing about Erika. So to suggest that we need to not know about her because she went through a bad thing that we all feel sad about is wrong. Yeah. We deserve to know who is leading an organization that's going to come in at her first event where she's running it and say, we're all going to vote for J.D. Vance for president in 28. And it's like, excuse me, what? I don't recall there being a primary. I don't recall anybody else declaring whether or not they were going to run. I also don't recall it being 2027 yet. It's 2025 when they're saying this. So it's like, wait, so this person is at the head of a organization with hundreds of millions of dollars that has been essentially built with a lot of us. I've shared a lot of Turning Point stuff. I went to a lot of Turning Point events. You bought a booth at a Turning Point event. We've all been contributing to the rise of that organization in our own little way. Yep. And now that it's under new leadership, for us to just say, well, this person that's leading it is above reproach because she went through this terrible thing that we all feel bad about that hurt all of us as well in our own little way. I think is crazy. And if we don't deserve to know that, and then you say that we're a demon for wanting to know, then you make me want to look 10 times as much.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like I don't know why. Yeah, it goes into the same thing where it's like the same people that are so completely manipulated by this situation because their faith is being used against them. The same people were like, they were so good at seeing through the COVID stuff. And it's like, I thought we learned a lesson here. But the problem is, it's because I know why. It's because it's a faith-based weapon. They're weaponizing faith against you, right? Don't question this because it means you're questioning your faith. It means you're questioning God. If you question Erika, you're questioning a woman of God. If you question Pastor Rob, you're questioning a man of God. Guys, I got news for you. Some of the worst crimes and most horrific acts of human mankind have been perpetrated largely by people who did it under the guise of faith and God and religion. That's an absolute fact. Yeah. And so not only should you question them, you should question them even more because they are probably even more guilty than the average person because historically, it's usually religious people. And I'll tell you what, it's funny because this is actually one of the first things I talked about in 2020 as well, is I understand one of the reasons why people can't do this. It's because in order for you to have to believe that there may be something more to this whole Erika Kirk situation and the whole assassination with Charlie, you have to cross a line that you very much don't want to cross cognitively, right? Because it means that you're going to shatter your reality as you know it, if that happens. And people like me, like I crossed that reality a long time ago. I crossed that line a long time ago. And so for me, it's very easy. And I understand why it's hard for some people. But I will give you the perfect example of when that happened in the past, and it will make a lot more sense. When everything came out about the Catholic Church and about the fact that there was literal pederast happening, not only like in the lower levels, okay? It wasn't just like boy love with pedophiles at the lower levels of the churches, like just the priests or whatever. It went all the way up to the Vatican. Okay. I mean, you guys know this. It's one of the biggest scandals in modern history. And when that came out, it shattered everyone's reality. Everyone. Because up until then, crossing that line of believing that was possible was like, it was completely out of the question. And so it was only until people were forced across that line that they actually could understand that, hey, this is a real thing. And this is no different, guys. The Epstein files, the assassination with Charlie, the alleged corruption and potential whatever going on with Erika, it's the same thing. And either it's never going to come out because these people are demons and they're just going to keep it hidden and we're never going to find out, or it's going to come out. And all of these people that are so afraid to cross that line, you're going to be forced across the line. And then it's going to be even harder to deal with and harder to cope with. And that's honestly what just happened with the Epstein files. There are people out there right now that I promise you are having actual mental and emotional breakdowns. Like they legitimately are questioning their existence. I know this for a fact because I know a couple of them. And they're like, how can this be real? How can this be our world? How can it be that these people are eating the freaking feces out of babies? Like, how is that even how? Like, right? Because the normal mind can't comprehend that because it's just pure evil. That's what's going to happen with all of this as well. I truly believe that. And so that's why it drives me insane when I see these people who are so sure that Candace is a demon and that this is evil and that there's no way that it could be anything but a faith-based organization that has all the best intentions, even though every single action that they take is basically for monetary gain. Like, I mean, everything, guys, the chapters, all of this stuff, they don't actually care about influence. They're making hand over fist money right now. I think I read somewhere, correct me if I'm wrong, Bobby, but I read somewhere, I think that they made like since he died, they've made like $250 million for the freaking organization. Something insane like that. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So miss me with this whole like innocent Erika and innocent pastors and innocent TP Faith and TP USA when there's obvious corruption and obvious holes in their narrative?
Well, I don't know. I can't state anything definitively, and that
Neither can I, and I'm not.
And it has not been my place to say, and I have not said that I think that I know that something is this or something is that. And if anybody goes back through any piece of content that I put out on this subject, it has been, why can't we talk about it, and why can't we know more about it? And why is everyone saying that this is something that is beyond reproach to look at? It's like, we deserve to understand this. That's it. It's as simple as that. And the fact that people keep saying that you can't, or that you're evil or a demon if you do that, only makes me want to look more. And every single thing that I've seen as it relates to them has been very suspicious. And it's like, this is suspect. Why is this off? Why did you lie about this? Why did you change this? Why was this thing changed? Why are these people connected to these people that this weird thing's happened? Why is that? And why is there so much smoke there that there can be months and months of content and there still seems to be new things coming out that are very weird? And why can't we look at it? And why, and why were all these strange anomalies? And why does the chorus of people that lie to us about the same MAGA slop, why are they telling us that there's nothing to see here?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you also said there's nothing to see here about any other thing. So I'm supposed to trust you now on this?
And why are the people that supposedly are Charlie's good friends, right? All these people that are like, you're attacking my friend Charlie. You have the Graham Allens that continue to say, my friend Charlie, my friend Charlie. Brother, I haven't seen one picture or video of Graham Allen with Charlie Kirk on any of his social platforms. Not one. It's not even like, it's not there. So all these people that are pretending to be his closest friends, why are they saying the opposite? I don't know if you caught this, but I made a video. This was back when I was like flaming Tatum. I literally made a video and I chopped up things that he has said in his podcast and like on stage. And then I chopped up all the things that Charlie said in the last like year of his life. And I mashed them up as if they were talking to each other. And it sounded like they were fighting. It sounded like they were like knockdown, drag out fight. Because they're completely at odds. You have Talmud Tatum who's saying, you're not just asking questions. You're not just asking questions. You're just a Jew hater. And then you had Charlie literally saying the words, I'm just asking questions because I learned in COVID that that's what we're supposed to do. And that freedom actually lies in asking those questions. And I don't hate Jews. I'm just being critical of another country because I care about America. And it's literally the exact same thing. And it's like, why are his friends completely at odds with what he was actually saying? And why are they also trying to change what was perceived as what he was saying before he died? There's so many questions that if you're not at least asking why, then you're just being ignorant. Like you're being you're choosing bliss. I mean, at this point, like I feel like you have to know that there's something up, but you're just choosing not to ask.
Yeah. Well, and I think that all of these things are all intertwined with, the sacred cow, the unspoken thing that we can't talk about, that all of the principles just completely fly out the door for. It's like every single thing that Ben Shapiro criticized the left for doing and Black Lives Matter, he does the exact same thing. He literally does the exact same thing. And it's not even just him. It's everyone that is in that camp. It's like every person that got called racist that said, you guys are saying racist so much, it doesn't even mean anything. They literally can't see their own hypocrisy in the same thing. But the sad part about it is that I think they do see it. They just don't care. Yeah. They see it and they don't care. And it's like so many people spoke out about funding the Ukraine war.
Right.
And everybody was against that. But then now this. And it's like, and everybody was against financing all. And it's like, remember when we cut off all the foreign aid? It was all the foreign aid except one. And it's like I don't have this like existential beef with Israel. I don't have this existential beef with Jewish people. That's
I literally could care less what country it is. I've said that so many times. It's not because it's Israel, guys. It's not because it's the Jews. I literally could care less if it was Italy and the Italians. I would be saying the same thing. I would be saying the same thing.
Yes, it's a lack of principles, which is something that I've been pointing out a lot
Bingo.
lately. Is I'm just like, you guys have no principles. It's like, if the principle is X, then you can interchange any country, anything, any issue with X, and it remains the same because you
Correct.
have a principled stance. And you could, and newsflash, you could interchange X, Democrat to Republican, left to right. You could interchange them all if you are a principled person. But to be a principled person means that you are not tribal, and to be tribal is financially and socially beneficial. So to be non-tribal means that you cut yourself out of a lot of opportunities, a lot of abilities to make money, and a lot of relationships that could theoretically lead to more power, more visibility, more distribution, etc. And as it relates to this specific issue, which seems to be overtly pervasive in every facet of our reality now, it's like to suggest that criticizing this, just like you would anything else if you had a principled stance, is now bad. Well, then you have no principle. So now I trusted you on 99 out of 100 things, and we got to this one thing, and you completely threw all the 99 out. And now I don't trust anything that you say because you're not principled at all.
Yeah,
and that is troublesome.
That's exactly.
And that's why and that's why most of them are hating on Candace. They're using the Charlie thing as an empathetic drag to go after her for what they really hate her for, which is not the Charlie stuff. The Charlie stuff is just a convenient out for disparaging the person that they already hated anyways because of her stance on other things. And they're doing that to every person.
Yep.
So whatever, but they don't have any principles. And like the people on the right, they're just not principled. And the one person that is objectively the most principled in the halls of power is Thomas Massey. And they hate him and they want to kick him out. So it's like,
you have to ask why.
So it's perfectly on brand for a non-principled reality. It's like, you guys are not principled, and you've made that more than clear. And the Thomas Massey thing is the most clear and obvious representation of that. Interchange Thomas Massey with Israel, interchange it with foreign aid, interchange it with spending, interchange it with the big beautiful bill, interchange it with the Trump accounts. It's all the same shit. And then us who can see it, like so many other people that see it, we are now bad and we are now dividing the party. If we were dividing the party, then why would so many people watch what we have to say? Why would they care?
Exactly.
Why would you come to me or to you if Benny Johnson and Graham Allen and insert any other person was satisfying your need for slop? Why would you subscribe to me? If Ben Shapiro was speaking your language, why would you watch my shit? You could just as easily watch Ben Shapiro, an hour-long episode every single day, much more produced, much more production quality, much more everything on a consistent basis. All these other podcasts. Why does anybody listen to Ian Carroll? Why do they listen to you? Why do they listen to me? Because there's a hole in the marketplace that's not being served by a person with principle. That's the only reason why our accounts are growing. It's not because we're so good. It's because they suck so much and nobody is saying that thing. And there's a lot of people that have no voice online
that are recognizing it.
Yeah, that recognize it, or maybe don't even want a voice. And they're like, I'm about to subscribe to this because this is not all these other things. And you could have the best produced show and millions of views. And why are these people with a fraction of the followers getting more steam than them? Why do these accounts have more motion? It's because the subscriber count and all the good faith that you built for the last 5 years with all the money and all the gas and all the access and all the interviews and all the relationships and all the speaking engagements and all the speeches has amounted to the exact same thing as us with none of that, because this is the correct message. That's the only reason why anyone even cares about what we have to say, because they're not saying it. And if they came out and started doing good shit, then none of this would happen. Nobody would care if we were sitting here just shitting on the Trump administration because we wanted to take them down. Then nobody would listen to us if they thought that we were wrong. If the Trump administration was doing a whole lot of fire stuff, we'd be the first people to be there cheerleading for them. We would say hell yeah. You don't think every video I want to make wants to be like, hell yeah, look what Trump just did. This is sick. We want to do that.
I literally just said that. I said that the other day. I was like, guys, believe me when I tell you, I wish that all of the videos I was making right now were like golden era, golden age of America, like shoving it in people's faces about how America is just thriving and crushing. I would love to just be constantly praising our country and everything that we're doing and talking about. And if I am talking about problems, I would love to be just talking about the problems that are here in the country that we could solve as Americans, right? I like, believe me when I tell you, it's not like I want to talk about Israel every day. It's not like I want to talk about what the Trump administration is doing and how they're shitting the bed. Like, I don't want to talk about those things, but I'm doing it because it has to be done, because that's what people need to know, because it's the only way that we can actually freaking bring attention to it and make a change. And I'll tell you this too. This comment right here is the perfect example of what you're talking about. And to give you guys perspective, I'm not even saying this like to my own horn, but in the last 90 days, my account has grown over 1,000 followers on Instagram every day, 1,000 followers a day. Like that growth is insane. And it's because of this, because this comment right here is left by somebody. David Rodriguez is a good friend of mine. Him and I are very, very like, we're not super aligned when it comes to, Trump and the administration. Like he still very much believes that there's a greater plan, that there's a freaking, like mission going on, and it's the white hats and all. Like he definitely still believes that. He's holding on to that. And that's where we totally disagree. And most of his following are Trump loyalists, and they get very angry when he has me on his show because I totally freaking speak out against it. That comment right there is perfect. Is a perfect example of what we're talking about. Somebody there follows me. And by the way, she or he is not alone, because I know I got a ton of followers after I went on his show, because they hear what I'm saying and they're like, I can't disagree with it. He's right. Like, it's truth. People recognize truth that are actually looking for the truth. That's how this works. If you're actually seeking the truth, you recognize it. And when you recognize it, you latch onto it.
None of us would have any attention if the message was being served properly from these other places. That is for sure. Nobody needs 75 people to say the exact same thing.
Right.
Our accounts would not grow if they were being properly served that information from other sources. That's the only reason why we have an audience at all. Yeah,
agreed. Do you think, just real quick, and then we'll end this. Do you think Candace is actually like, I've watched all of her stuff, and I've talked to her a couple times, and I know that she genuinely, I believe her heart is genuinely in the right place. Like she wants to turn over every stone and freaking figure this out. That being said, why do you think she's rolling it out so slowly? We kind of talked about this a little bit, but why do you think that's the case? Because I think that is honestly what is quote unquote turning some people off, is that it's like that idea of slow rollout and like theater, right? Which, she does run a show. That's like, let's just call a spade. We can recognize the truth on both sides, right? I think she is trying to get to the bottom of it. I think she genuinely does care to figure out the truth about the assassination. But there's also a part that's like, yeah, she runs a show, and every episode is another piece of that show, But what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that it's hard to weigh in on the methodology by which somebody accomplishes a task. And if we get hung up on that, then, and like, look, I understand that. And like, there's part of me that is frustrated by that as well. But at the same time, it's like, I was giving this example to somebody earlier where I was like, if you like, we don't know everything about a person when we meet them, if they're our friend. We don't know everything that they've done, good or bad or indifferent. We don't know every relationship they have. We don't know everything that they believe in. But we make a friend with a person because we generally believe that we trust them enough to welcome them into our inner circle, like you. It's like, I've met you a bunch of times. I've known you for a number of years, but I don't know the full totality of your life, everyone that you know, everything that you talk about. I don't know. But I would vouch for you and to somebody that's standing right next to me, because I can just do the best that I can with the information that is at hand. And it's like, do I believe that Candace is doing the right thing overall and in the aggregate? Do I believe that generally speaking that I trust that what she's saying is from the heart and that it means the right thing? Yes, I do. The vibe is there for me correctly. Is the way that she accomplishes a task something that I can understand fully without asking her? No. So that's how I look at it, where it's like, I don't know the method to the madness. I don't know what the reason for that would be. I would be interested to hear what she would have to say about that. But it's almost like, there is no perfect person, just like there's no perfect partner. It's like, you have problems with your best friends, you have problems with your wife, your siblings, whatever it is. It's like, but you have to just know that at their core that you believe that the totality of it is good. And the method by which they accomplish that task or they get to wherever that is, it's hard to analyze or understand that. But from a vibe standpoint, when I look at the show and I watch and I look at the totality of the things that she comments to other people, the way that she's engaging, the people that she chooses to follow, the content that she shares, I'm like, I approve of the mission, the methodology of achieving the mission. I don't know that it's possible for any of us to understand that. I'm sure she has some reasoning for it. I'd be interested to hear what her explanation for that would be. But yeah, it's like, it's like, okay, so let's take her out of it. Let's look at like any other person. It's like, can we name 5 people that are doing it perfect to the way that we think, you know? And it's like, somebody could easily look at what I'm doing or what you're doing and have problems with that. And there's a lot of people, and like, I'm sure you get this message all the time where people are like, you know, I don't agree with everything that you say, but I agree with a lot of it, or most
every single day. I get that actually. Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, it's like perfect. It's like,
that's what I want. Like, I don't want you to agree with everything I say. It would be awful if you did. Like, I'm not it. Yeah. That, going back to that, dude, that message is what I'm talking about. Like, and I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, I get that every day. Yeah, and it is the most valuable kind of message I can get. And so if you're watching this, please, if you think that at any point, don't hesitate to tell me that, because it lifts my spirit more than you know, because it makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. Because I don't want you to agree with everything I'm talking about, but I want you to be able to disagree and still follow me because you believe that I'm actually trying to at least share truth and be authentic. That to me is more valuable than a bunch of people only following me because they agree with everything I say. Like, when I lose followers and they say unfollowed, I usually like what you say, but I can't agree with this. It's like, I don't want you to follow me. Like, leave.
Yeah, well, and the other thing too is like when I talk about like matters of finance, like the Trump accounts, you know, I know when I make a video saying that the Trump accounts are bad, I know that it's not going to get a lot of views. I know that it's not going to get a lot of shares. I know that a lot of people won't agree with it. Whenever I talk about financial stuff, people always freak out. I always get the most pushback for that. But it's like, I believe that this is important, and I'm going to say this thing because I believe that it has a purpose. And whether somebody else can identify that purpose in the now is not my job to manage. And it's like, it would be way easier for me to not say the Trump accounts are bad. Yeah. I could just as easily not do that, and that would be a lot easier. I would get a lot less pushback. I would have my video go way further. But if I do that, I am Benny. I'm a slop.
You're compromising principles.
Correct. So it's like as it relates to Candace is the same as it relates to us. It's like when I make a video going after somebody that's in my camp, let's just say, it's like, I know that those usually will not go over well, but I believe that it is purposeful and this is what I have to do. The way that I go about doing it is a science only understood by me, and people have to just do the best they can to say, you know, I don't necessarily like the way that this is, or I don't like this thing, but like generally speaking, I believe that this person is doing the best that they can to deliver these things. And it's like, like Carmen said, it's like, perhaps that is the only way that works. Perhaps she learned in a way that you and I can't understand that that's the most effective way to eat that elephant. It's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It's like, maybe that's the only way for it to be effective. If she dropped a 5-hour expose, would anybody make their way through it? It's like, sometimes the only way to do it is to have one episode a day. Like maybe she learned that is the most effective way.
It's true because I look at like I don't know if you follow. Oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting what the freaking name is. What's the name of the dude that does like literally the 15-hour deep dive, historical deep dives?
The one
Martyr
that was
Made.
on.
Martyr Made. I forget what his actual name is, but his stuff, I don't know if you watch any of his stuff, but his stuff is awesome. But literally like they're tens of hours long. Like he does a freaking deep dive on World War II and it is like 18 hours long. Yes. I'll be honest. I've watched the entire thing because it's freaking amazing. But that being said, not everybody is going to be able to do that. And most people are not going to be able to do that. And it took me like a month and a half to get through it. So I think I'll tell you what, my opinion is this. I really try to like discern when I'm listening to somebody, and I'm usually able to do that pretty well. Like, is this person actually authentic or are they just full of crap? Honestly, it's the reason why I was one of the first people that actually spoke out about Erika. I mean, I literally was one of the, like, when I heard the very first that eulogy she gave when she was like, you think that you won, but you woke up a lioness, and she's like looking all intense and like it felt very theater. And then sure enough, the next day she was like talking about building Turning Point and going on podcast tours and all kinds of stuff. And I think I made a tweet that was super controversial. It said something to the effect of like, I hope if I'm assassinated in front of the world, it takes longer than 3 days for my wife to go and start building my business. Right. And I got a ton of heat for that. But sure enough, most of the people that were all pissed off and freaking were railing on me on that post, now they have something completely different to say because they're like, dude, you were onto it. Like, you were right. She sees something about her is weird. We don't know what's going on. We don't know if she's corrupt. We don't know if she's just weird, but like something's off. Right. And my point of that is I try my best to really use like discernment when I'm listening to somebody. And with Candace, I do not feel like she is being inauthentic. I think that she definitely is trying to build this the way that she feels is best. And yes, there's absolutely, I'm a capitalist. So there's absolutely an aspect to doing it in a way where she's able to build a community and that support. Because guess what? She wouldn't be able to do what she's doing right now if she didn't have this massive audience. She wouldn't be able to get the information that she's already gotten. She wouldn't have been able to get any of the things that she's been able to get that have actually proven that there's some serious holes in this narrative, right? So it's twofold for me. But ultimately, I think what she's really trying to do is turn over every single stone. And so is she going to get everything right? No. But I don't think most people understand this. It's been said that with any investigation, in the beginning of the investigation, it's common for the investigator to get 50 to 60% of the details wrong. Mm-hmm. 50 to 60% of the details are wrong out the gate. And then they spend all of the time trying to figure out, okay, this was wrong, so what's right? Right? And that's what this is. That's what she's doing to me.
Yeah, and it's like, I forget who it was. I think it might have been Baron Coleman or somebody, and they were like, this is the first crowdsourced public investigation that has ever existed. And, one of the things that she said in the episode the other day is she was like, in any investigation, they teach you to like go back to the beginning and look at it from a fresh eyes at the details that came out at the start. And one of the things that she brought up was that Etsy spell that made headlines that was like these mysterious witches bought some spell on Etsy and it made its way to like Newsweek or something. And she was like, isn't that weird? And she started looking back at that and I was like, shit, I remember that.
And Erika said it wasn't real. And then she got caught in a lie.
Right. And but like one of the things that Candace said is she's like, wait, there was a lot of threats on Charlie from the jump. And like, why did this Etsy spell make its way to Newsweek or whatever was the outlet? And it's like, well, who placed that thing and how did that was even newsworthy? And then who are these Etsy witches anyways? And why was this taken so seriously that we had to pray over this thing the night before? Like, that's a very weird detail from the beginning of the investigation that, like, I've watched more true crime than like 99% of people. And I remember in a million times when they're doing cold cases, they go back to like the first guy that they interviewed that they dismissed when there was this funnel of information coming in. And they go back and they'll find a detail in the initial case file at the very beginning that will point something out that they forgot about. And it's like that moment when she mentioned that, I was like, that is such an interesting detail that to me shows that what we are witnessing is an open source investigation that is unfolding in real time. And perhaps the time is what is necessary in order to really get to it. And it's like, those are the types of little details that I think a lot of people don't catch if they don't watch the show all the time, that prove to me that this is an authentic thing.
Yeah. I mean, for me, where I really realized that she was onto something was honestly the very first text thread that she dropped. Because here's the thing, guys, which we
would have never known about.
Yeah, exactly. And you cannot deny this fact. The fact that when she dropped that text message, Tyler Boyer, freaking Colvett, Pastor Rob, McCoy, all of these guys, Josh Hammer, they were caught in like 6 lies in just that one text thread. That one text thread proved that they were caught in like 6 lies that they had said since Charlie died.
Yeah.
And if you're not saying why are they lying about things like that? Why are they lying about the donors? Why are they lying about what he said? Why are they lying about the fact that he was afraid for his life? Why are they lying about his true feelings about the Israel trip that Pastor Rob McCoy was going to go on? Like, all of these things were actual lies that they were caught in. And if you're sitting there not questioning that, why? Like, and again, that's what you have to ask yourself, right? And I'm not saying that we know what's going on with Erika. All I'm saying is, why is it so hard for you to believe that that could be a reality? Like, why can you believe flat Earth? And why can you believe like any of the other conspiracy theories, right? But you can't believe that there's a possibility that this chick was a honeypot, or that there was some kind of bigger agenda that took Charlie out and installed her, or whatever it may be, right? I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm just saying, like, why can you not consider those options? Why is this situation different? That's what you have to ask yourself. And if you do, I think it'll come down to understanding that it's because it's right wing, it's Christian, it's faith, it's all the things that they've used to manipulate you.
Yeah, and in the end, we all want to be wrong.
Exactly.
Like that's the thing. That's the thing about it, is it's like, it's the same reason why any of us started paying attention to Trump in the first place. Every single person said Trump is evil, he's a racist, he is bad, he should not be the president, he's a piece of garbage, and you should hate him. And now that made all of us look at him and say, if everybody says he's bad, then I want to prove that he's bad. So we went there to validate that belief so that we could join into the chorus of people saying he's bad. And we all realized that he wasn't. So we went to prove to ourselves that that's not what it was. And for all of us, it's like, I don't want to think that Erika or Turning Point or anybody had anything to do with anything. I want to believe that it was Tyler Robinson acting on his own because he's a psycho and he's stupid, and that sucks, and we were wrong about everything. We want to know that. But in the process of validating that belief in our own mind, we have discovered 1,000 discrepancies and 1,000 strange anomalies that are so hard to ignore. And then on top of all that, us proving and validating to ourselves that we want to join the popular chorus and say this is nothing, in that process of us trying to validate that amongst ourselves, we've seen otherwise and said, okay, keep pulling the thread. And in the process of saying keep pulling the thread, they say, you are evil for pulling it. And it's like, well, okay, well then, first of all, who the fuck are you to tell me that? And now you're going to make me look twice as much. Yeah. And then, and then when you start to see how all of these people have these intertwined, entrenched interests that go far beyond Charlie and go back to the country that can't be named, it's like, well, why are all of you that lie to me about all these other things? Why are you the ones that are the most incensed about this? Why are you the ones that are giving us the most heat about this? Why are you the ones that are invoking biblical type rhetoric to suggest that this is bad. It's like, who the fuck are you to say what I need to not look at? Like, fuck you. And I wrote an article called What Candace Owens Taught Me on my Substack. It's my biggest Substack that I ever posted. Candace herself shared it. And I wrote that, you know, what Candace has taught me is that, like, if you have something that is pressing so heavy on your soul that you have no choice but to pursue it, that you'll be willing to take every arrow in order to do that thing that you feel is one way.
And all of us have done that and felt that. And yes. I think that's why we are so willing to be able to consider these. Like, you have a comment in here that's like, I can't believe that Charlie wouldn't know that he was married to whatever. And it's like, why, bro? Like, if she's actually let me just paint this picture. If she's actually a honeypot and actually an asset, her whole mission is to be believable. And these people train to do that. Like, intelligence agencies train these people to be complete. I mean, how many movies have you seen? Like, I don't want to say it's like a movie, but really though, how many movies have you seen where all of a sudden the wife ends up being a complete honeypot, and she was basically just a sleeper cell until the right moment came? And it's like, why can you believe everything else? But the idea that happened, and that potentially, right, she is being installed as the face of the conservative, faith-based right-wing movement, who's also running arguably the most influential organization in the country for the two youngest generations, which are, by the way, the most valuable to not only them, but also to Israel, which is deeply entrenched in the organization. Why can you not believe that all these things could be connected, but you can believe any other conspiracy theory under the sun? And I'll tell you, it's because of faith-based cognitive dissonance, because it is so hard to question faith. It is not hard to question science or logic or, emotion or whatever. It is so hard to question faith. And since day one, since that man was shot, it's only been an onslaught of your faith. It started with the miracle bullet, right? It started with the man of steel. It started with all those things. It actually started with Trump. It actually started with them saying that Trump was God sent and he's being protected and blah, blah, blah. Then they move on to Charlie. It was a miracle bullet. He was man of steel, right? Then it was these pastors saying all these people that are questioning this are evil. And it's been that constant narrative since day one. And why is it that you guys can't look at this and say, okay, pretend that Candace Owens is the doctor that was on the disinformation dozen during the COVID times, right? What did you say about that doctor? We should probably listen to the doctor that everyone's attacking and trying to take away their license and deplatforming them off of every social media thing and running these massive smear campaigns against this doctor who seems to know what's going on and just wants to share the truth. Why can you not look at Candace the same way? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at her the exact same way and saying, yeah, everyone's attacking her. I'm going to listen to her.
Yeah. And the last kind of like capper on the whole Candace thing is like the biggest thing that people say, and I've seen people even saying it in the chat, is they're just like, Candace is doing it for money. And I made this point in the article about what Candace Owens taught me. And it was like, if Candace was going to make a ton of money for the remainder of her life, that was an absolute guaranteed lock. She already had a big show. She already was making a ton of money. She already had a huge captive audience. She was already going to make a ton of money. If Candace Owens was smart enough to get to that point, and then she was willing to do this for the money, then that means that once this case is concluded, in the event that all the details come out about Tyler Robinson, and it's an open and shut case, and every single thing that she said has all been for naught, her ability to earn money going forward will be severely, severely altered on the downturn from that for the remainder of her life. And no one will be able to trust her, and her audience will
destroy her reputation.
She will destroy it. So whatever money she will make now would destroy all of the future potential earnings that she would have had by saying nothing at all.
And
so
her
it's like
legacy.
Right. So if you want to say that she's doing it for money, when we know that this trial is going to come in 6 months and it'll be over in a year, and then it'll all be done. You want to say that this woman is so fucking stupid that she just wanted to take a quick, whatever it is, let's call it $10 million. She wanted to take $10 million to get rid of making $10 million every year for the rest of her life for that. That's pretty fucking stupid, financially speaking, because she's not going to be able to speak on a lot of stages if this shakes out that she was completely wrong. She's not going to have the audience that she has. She's not going to sell as much merch. If it comes out that she was flat wrong, dead wrong about everything, she will have completely cratered all the prospect that she would have had and all the goodwill she would have had for the rest of her life. So the real question is, what would compel a person to take a risk like that? The only thing would be if the matter pressed on your soul so hard that the only thing that mattered was that, you'd be willing to sacrifice everything. And that is what I think we are witnessing. So every person that says that she's doing it for money, you're not fucking thinking it through like a smart person would, because she is single-handedly hinging her entire career on this thing. And anybody that was really doing it for money would never fucking do that.
And very well said. And I'm going to close it out by saying this too. The comment about Candace is going about it with zero tact and respect. And then you also said that she'll say that if the trial comes out, whatever, it's going to be a conspiracy. Yeah, look at JFK. That's all I'm going to say about that one, right? The trial of JFK, yeah, they told us what happened, right? But now all of us know that that's not what actually happened. And all of us know that JFK was a massive conspiracy. What is that, 30, 40 years later, whatever, right? But to address this last one, and this is where we're going to stop. Candace is going about it with zero tact or respect. That's an emotional comment. You're using emotion to try and challenge what she's doing. And so I'm going to remind you once again of something that happened during COVID that you were probably pretty astute with, and you probably said it yourself. F your feelings, okay? Because they don't matter. Your feelings don't matter in this at all, nor do anyone's feelings. She's going to turn over all the stones, no matter what. And of course, she's going to piss people off. She's going to make people uncomfortable. She's going to cause a lot of wreckage and a lot of chaos. That's what is going to happen. And you saying that it's zero tact, you're just being emotional, and F your feelings. They don't matter. No one cares what you think or feel. She sure as hell doesn't, and she shouldn't, because you cannot conduct a successful investigation if you're worried about offending people. Like, what are we even doing? And that's where we're going to end that. If you guys have anything else, any other, just do like one or two questions if you have them. If not, we're going to go ahead and call it. Thanks, I know it's late for Bobby. Dude, thanks so much for coming on, man. Yeah. It's always fun, brother. It's always a good time.
I agree. No, my pleasure, man. Dude, it's just like, I think that the overarching kind of theme that is important for everybody to understand is that these are matters of great consequence, and to face matters of great consequence, of great severity, like, you're going to piss a lot of people off, and it's going to be dirty. That's just how it is. And it's like, I remember I was listening to a podcast the other day where they were talking about the deportations, and they were like, did anybody think it was going to be easy to deport 10 million fucking people without some people getting their ass kicked in the street, without some mistakes, without some people dying? No, that's just what's going to happen. This is a dirty game. And it's like, this case and all of this other stuff we're talking about, it's dirty. And it's no surprise that this ruffles feathers and pisses people off, because it's like, we're talking about the nation. We're talking about everything. So like, yeah, it's going to be dark. It's going to be hard, and it's going to be difficult, and it's going to be not without mistake. But it is the people that choose to go into that despite that are the only people that have ever changed anything.
Facts. Yep. And yeah, dude. And on that, so last call, guys, for any super chats. Both Bobby and I don't charge for any of our content. Literally none. We don't have any gate. Like, we just don't. And Correct. We never have. Probably because we haven't really been able to. I haven't been able to, for sure. I know you. I'm able to. Oh, okay. I definitely haven't been able to, but either way, we don't charge at all. We don't ask people for money, but if you want to support us with some super chats, that will go towards helping us build our channels and continue to do this for you guys. And every time we've gotten together and done this, it's been an awesome experience. So we'll do it more. But go ahead and throw those in there if you guys have any, if you're willing. If not, no big deal. We just appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here tonight. If you're not following Bobby, make sure you follow him. Bobby, why don't you tell them where they can follow you?
Followbobby.com is the links to all my stuff. I'm at Take Naps on pretty much everything.
Awesome. And then if you're not following me, it's just iWenster on iWenster on Instagram and X, and the Ian Wentz Show on YouTube, as you see. But yeah, guys, if there's nothing else, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for being here tonight. It's really cool discussion, and let's go to bed.
Indeed. Keep fighting the good fight. Share the content.
Yeah, please share this, guys. Appreciate you guys. Later, brother.
Later, man.